Good evening, race fans. Live here on LSRTV. It's the second of our Friday night double feature here on LSRTV. Tonight, Daytona International Raceway, race number 11, the Throwback 300. And it's only the Throwback 300 because we're at the old Circa 2007 Daytona International Speedway. Lots of bumps, lots of tire wear, lots of crazy things can happen. And tonight, Cisco, we're in for a long feature race of 120 laps here tonight. Last weekend, of course, they ran a B main and an A main here at Daytona, and with that, it was only about 65 laps. So we're in for a feature here. 120 laps. This is going to be a long race, an endurance race for these guys. And we saw earlier this evening in the IROC race, just a little bit of damage can hurt these cars quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see how well these guys can hang on to this thing for 120 laps.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks that, it doesn't feel like the car actually wants to be on the road here. It feels like it wants to be up in the wall or on the apron or something. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how long these guys can hold it together. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw our fair share of cautions tonight, because this place is very tricky to get around, as we saw a lot of cars in the IROC race just before this get up into that outside wall. So we know it's going to be hard to keep a handle on these things, especially as the tires start to get worn and the laps begin to run.
That's right. And of course, last week, like I said, we were here at this track once again with the shorter races, the quick little sprint races. Rodney Wofford became the first driver to win the B main and the A main in the same night. So quite a feat that he did. And then, of course, earlier this evening, you saw it right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live page, that Rodney Wofford just somehow seems to get around this track pretty well. He figured it out. He figured it out last week in the short stints. He figured it out in the 40-lap feature we had earlier in the IROC Gen 5 cars. Now he's got to do it again, but this time for 120 laps. So if anybody can do it, I definitely think it's that 7th car.
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be the favorite tonight coming in. I mean, he's had a fast showing in the IROC race. Obviously, came home with the win both last week and just now. So it should be interesting here to see who's going to... It looks like he's the only one really who's kind of managed to not really let those bumps affect him. I didn't really see him get any car contact last week as far as the wall's concerned, but as we finish up practice here, it looks like he's the only one from what I've seen who's been able to hold on to the track for the whole race.
Yeah, he's definitely done a great job. Obviously has a handling on this racetrack. Well, this is race number 11, so after race number 11 of 18. So after this week's race, only 4 more races left to go in the series. And you look at the point standings right now, Wofford holding a huge gap on second place Josh Ball. 42 points he's got right now for a lead in the championship. I mean, with 5 races to go counting tonight, that's quite a significant amount of points these guys have to make up. And quite honestly, they need at least a couple races of Rodney finishing outside the top 30.
Yeah, that's true, but also, this is a plate track league, and with that comes that, that wild card factor of basically anything can happen on any given day. So, as big of a points lead as Rodney Wofford has, he has to remember he can't let his guard down. That'd be the last thing you want to do, especially kind of coming into these plate races. I don't think I've seen a single driver take it easy all season. So he's got to stay up on that wheel and make sure he's running up front for the rest of the season here and make sure he can clinch that championship.
Yeah, obviously consistency has gotten him out to that 42-point lead over Josh Ball. Consistency and the fact that he's won 3 races so far this season. So he's won a quarter of the races that we've run in this season. So he's definitely gotten it done with consistency. We look at a little bit into the I-5 bonus. Of course, what that is the 5 drivers that finished in the top 5 the week prior are eligible for the bonus if they were to win here tonight. Currently, the bonus is at $15. Eligible drivers in this race tonight: Tommy Hall, of course, Rodney Wofford, last week's winner, Corey Henry, Josh Ball in the 48, and Rod Mitten. Those guys were the ones that finished in the top 5 last week, so they have the opportunity, if they can win tonight, to come home with a $15 prize also.
Yeah, it's kind of harkening back to those good old Noble 5 races, and one of the biggest wins in the Noble 5 was that number 3 machine of Dale Earnhardt, and he was definitely a plate track king here, and I'm going to be interested to see who's, we've seen Wolford bring out this huge gap, but one of the things that is definitely key on this older speedway is holding that bottom line. It's one of the things whenever I watch these old races, especially that number 3 car was able to do, is hold the bottom line coming out of the corner. A lot of these cars will bounce out of that groove, head up towards the middle. Earnhardt was always the greatest at kind of arcing in a little bit and getting to that bottom line, getting to that line before someone can block him, and then coming up out of nowhere. He especially did well at Talladega. And that, I think, is going to be key here to make sure you're holding that lead. You got to make sure to hold that bottom line.
You're absolutely right. Another thing we're going to have to keep an eye on here tonight is, as this thing goes, we saw earlier tonight in the IROC race, they went 40 laps, nonstop, green flag action, no cautions in that first race. Obviously, the car count a little bit more in this one. We had 11 cars in that IROC race. And so far right now tonight, it looks like we have about 33 drivers that have set to make 34, excuse me. I'm having a little trouble counting, but 34 cars are going to be in tonight's race. So one little slip up, this is what these guys need, the ones that want to battle for that championship like we talked about. They need something to happen to that 7 machine at Wofford in order for them to gain some points. Well, it's about that time. We're here for the Throwback 300 here tonight. 120 laps set to go here at Daytona International Speedway. Of course, this is the old track, the Circa 2007. With that set, the drivers are just about finishing up qualifying. We're going to head trackside now for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you spy the dawn's early light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
On behalf of iRacing.com, Motorsports Simulation, LSRTV, and iSuperspeedway.com series, we're here live at Daytona International Speedway, set to get the Throwback 300, excuse me, a tongue twister. Throwback 300 here, 120 laps to make up this feature, but let's go down trackside. Let's get you the starting lineup here tonight, and of course, by no surprise, on the pole, in the 7 car, he's been fast here for the last 2 weeks, looking to sweep everything. It's Rodney Wofford with a 47.728. And just to his outside, he finished here second last week. That's a 48 at Josh Ball. Starting third, series admin, the 26, a Rod Flagg. He's always someone to watch out here. Starting fourth will be the 93 of James Pileski. And Chris Passini will round out the top 5.
Justin Anderson going to start 6th in the Orioles machine. Starting the row behind them, starting 7th, is going to be Derek Walker. And to his outside, it's going to be Jason Altmans. Right behind them is going to be Frank Basilia. And to his outside, in the AMD King of Graphics Chevrolet, it's Corey Henry.
Matt Quick in the 89 machine, it will start 11th. 12th will go to the 21 of Glenn Hedrick. Brandon Chaburko in that Goodwrench Chevrolet in the number 3 will start 13th. 14th starting spot goes to 82 of Dan Harrington. Ramon Evans will start 15th.
16th going to go to the 33 machine of Larry Camp. Behind them, in the 17th spot, it's going to be the 09 of William Roberts, and 2 is outside, the 02 of Mitchell Reeves. Behind them, the 43, she's been strong these last couple weeks, it's Stephanie Lessentine, and 2 are outside, it's Ray Rittenauer.
Starting 21st tonight, last car to take time in qualifying, the number 2 of Donnie Giarratano. Logan Clampett in the 44 is going to start 22nd. 23rd will be the 71 of Christian Peterson. Seth the Merchant in the 42 starts 24th. And 25th will be the 24 of Josh Hanner.
Starting 26th in the Michael Waltrip Throwback scheme, it's Greg Hooks in the 98. Starting 27th is going to be Paul Servant in the 85. Tommy Hall going to start 28th in that Goodwrench machine. 29th going to Daniel Ferguson, and 30th it's going to go to Dana Osborne.
Kent Connolly in the 088 machine will start 31st. 32nd will be Rod Mitten. Don Turner will start 33rd in that 36 machine. And Tanner Mann in the 5 car will start shotgun on the field in 34th. Well, Cisco, the wait is finally over. 300 miles, 120 laps set for these guys here tonight. An endurance race, one you got to keep the fenders clean. All race long, have solid pit stops, especially if they're green flags.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an epic race as they come through 3 and 4 right now. I definitely think the favorite right now is going to be Wofford, but you also got to watch out for that one car of Chris Passini. He also won here in the All-Star race, but as they come through turn 4, the pace car are going to get set to dive down to pit road.
And as the pace car does, Rodney Wofford will lead the field to the green flag. Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Daytona, 120 laps, and Wofford already not wasting any time. He's trying to get a big push from Rod Flagg as Rod Flagg now pushes that 7 car to the lead. It's side by side for second into 1.
Still, no one seems to be able to break away right now as they head into the bumps. That is turn 1 and 2. Cars jumping all over the place. Still side by side. It looks like Wofford's going to be the first car to clear the line. Now the 48 of Ball is going to come back on that outside. Huge run for him. He's getting pushed by that 93 of Pileski. Behind him, the 77 of Anderson. They're making a charge. We saw that top line in the IROC race. It was pretty strong. But right now, that bottom line is prevailing with Wofford at the head of the field.
Yeah, I think the fresh tires allows them to be on the bottom and be pretty racy. As the tires wear out, though, I think you're going to see them all move up. As Chaburko now in the 3 car goes through the grass on the front straightaway. Not sure if he had a little help there from anybody or if he just flat out lost it, but he pulled over and now he's just stopped in the grass right now. Not sure what's going on with the 3. He's starting to roll again in that Coca-Cola machine, and the replay's going up on the screen right now. And oh, excuse me, no replays going up on the screen. But trouble early for that 3 car. He's definitely going to need some help with a caution.
And that kind of split up the pack now as we kind of have 2 packs sort of emerging. That first pack goes all the way back to 15th and even to 16th with Larry Clamp kind of being at the end of that pack. Then you have a couple cars kind of strung out from that incident. You have people like Logan Clampett, Stephanie Lessentine, they're kind of riding it out right now. And then you sort of have another kind of a tandem right now of Peterson and Cole Trickle. Seth the Merchant. Those 2 are kind of tandeming right now. And then, a couple more cars. And then our next big pack is really back in 28th with Tommy Hall and those guys kind of being the rear of the field right now. So that checkup right there kind of broke up the field a little bit as right now back up to the race lead. Wofford continues to lead, hanging tough on that outside with Ball pushing him. Right now, trouble. 7 around. That's going to be a huge wreck. No caution yet. No caution. We stay green here. But that's a huge wreck that took out some of the guys in the top pack there. There's the caution flag.
Yeah, caution flag will come out for that incident with the 77 car. The 77 car in turn number 3. Having some trouble right there. Looks like a little bit of contact made by these guys. Again, I think that's the bumps right there really playing into effect in this one. This, of course, coming at the front of the field. The 77 Anderson running in that 6th spot right there. Yeah, he pushes up the track, starts to come back down. And as the replay comes up, you'll see that 51 of Jason Altman's thought that inside lane or the middle lane was going to open up there. Tried to push down in there to 77. When he corrected it, though, Cisco came back down, and they made contact, and that was it, right in front of everybody.
Yeah, there was a bunch of cars caught up in that wreck that really had nowhere to go. I feel bad for the 07 of Walker. He had no idea what was going on. It was outside, and, you know, next thing he knows, he's got a torn up right side on that 07 Jack Daniels machine. So he's going to have some damage. I see there was smoke coming out in the 77 of Anderson as he came down pit road. So they're going to need to put a new motor in the Orioles machine. But right now, as we get set right now to kind of get things back underway, as the field starts to bunch back up, maybe you think we're going to see any pit strategy this early?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We're only working lap number 5 currently right now. You might see some guys come in and maybe top off with fuel. Last week's races, we did see a pit stop or 2. We did see, though, a lot of guys not taking tires or just taking 2 because they did complain that these cars seemed to tighten up on the longer runs. So 2 tires last week seemed to help some of these guys. However, though, this is a little bit longer of a race, and I'm sure those left side tires, left side tires are also going to get worn out pretty good here tonight too. Also, so it's going to be interesting to see here. Pit road's going to be open this time by. We'll see if any of our front runners decide to come down, or if they're going to, see if they're going to stay out there. And we'll see right now because they're coming down to the entrance of pit road. It looks like all our front runners are going to stay out on the track. So Cisco, for now these guys, Cisco, are just wanting to keep their track position, stay up front.
Yeah, that's definitely the case by the leaders right now. I mean, Wofford's going to stay out. He wants that track position, but not a bad call for some of these guys, like the 51 of Altman's, and, you know, people like the, who's that? That's the 12 of Corey Henry. He's got a little bit of damage left over from that wreck, but, you know, new tires, it definitely helps on this worn-out racetrack.
That it does, obviously early in this going, so some of these guys don't think the tires will make that much of a difference. So trouble early for the 77 of Anderson and also the 51 of Jason Altman. So some trouble early on here, early in the going, something we didn't see in that IROC race earlier this evening. Tonight, Cisco was seemed like obviously there's a lot different amount of cars, but I don't think the car count in that instance really had anything to do with it. I think it was just a product of the way these guys race, just so hard every lap after lap, trying to get the lead, and that's exactly what the 51 was doing. I can't blame him for dropping to that middle line there, trying to get around the 77 after the 77 kind of pushed up in the track and lost his momentum. So just a product of running out of room. At Talladega, they might have had a little bit more room because that track, of course, is a little bit wider. But here at Daytona, on these corners, you could literally fit 4 cars in here, but with how bumpy it is, anything more than 2 wide, you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. Yeah, that's definitely the case here, and I want to give a call out to William Roberts. Some cars did come pit road, but he came all the way. He's come up 10 spots from 17th, so he's having a great run, as well as having a great run to that 98 machine of Greg Hooks. Once we come across the scoring loop, I believe he's going to get scored 12th, no, 8th actually. So he's all the way back from 26. He's made his way up into the top 10. So a great run by that Napa Auto Parts machine of Greg Hooks.
Yeah, the 98 of Greg Hooks there, all the way up from the 26th spot. William Roberts, like you said, up 10 spots to 7th from 17th. Well, the lights are off on the pace car. Everybody's starting to get stacked up. It looks like somebody's having a little confusion on what lane they have to be in, but everybody now getting sorted things out as they head down the back straightaway. And Cisco, we talk about the long green flag runs. Typically, these guys see week in and week out at these play tracks. With these cars on this track, obviously a little more abrasive. Tires wear out a little bit quicker than the newer Daytona with a smooth pavement. We talk about the pit stops, the fuel strategy, things like that. This is one place you definitely don't want to come down, especially on the green flag stop, without a partner, without somebody. Even if it's not a teammate, you need somebody to get that draft.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think is going to be a little different, you know, on these other plate tracks, they're not really used to getting bounced around in the corner. I mean, we're going to talk about it all night. Those bumps just play havoc with the tires and the suspension on these cars, and it just makes your job a whole lot tougher trying to get around these plate tracks.
Yeah, there's going to be some tired drivers after this one here. Lap number 7 about to be complete as we come back down the front straightaway. Pace car going to look down to pit road. Rodney Wofford, he's led since the beginning of this thing. Green flag back out in the air. He continues to lead. Josh Ball, though, with a good start on that outside lane. He's got help from the 93 of James Pileski.
Yeah, I think Ball's best chance right now is going to try and keep Wofford down on that inside, but that inside line gets a really good run on these restarts. So I think that's going to be the preferred line for the rest of the day today on these restarts. But Wofford's going to clear Ball here, going to fly up straight to the outside, get in that preferred lane as these cars get up to speed here. And that's going to leave Flag, Bassini, and William Roberts down on that inside as only 3 cars down there. Now the 98, maybe thinking about taking a look down there. Greg Hooks. Nope, he's kind of gonna stay in the middle, see what he. Nope, there he goes now. He's gonna drop to that inside, maybe make a run. As right now, 26 a Flag, he wants that lead.
He does want that lead. He's getting some help from that one car. Chris Bassini now on that bottom side. Bottom side's gonna be a tough place to get the pass done. If you can get him cleared, then the smart thing's gonna move up to the top as we're riding on board with Rod Flag right now. You can see through the corners there. Gets a good run, but then coming off the corners, as the top side almost kind of off the corner, you almost run downhill. They get a huge advantage here down the back straightaway. Of course, they can bump down the back straightaway, but as soon as they get down to turn 3, they got to let off. They got to give some gap in between the bumpers right there. As you can see, Rod Flag and Chris Bassini right there getting it done. Lap car now on the top side. They're going to go 3 wide to try to get around him right there. Getting a little close right there. Pileski almost gets into him, as he almost makes contact with William Roberts, too, on the inside when they went 3 wide. So Rodney Wofford continually back into 1.
I don't think sketchy was a good enough term to describe that. That was just, ooh, that was close. But right now, Flag going to get a huge run on that inside. He's hit the nitrous boosters. Bassini's going to try and help him get past. Our leader so far is going to be Wofford, but he's led all day. But right now, Flag's going to make a hard charge on that inside. Bassini trying to push him past. There they go into 3. Flag's going to clear Wofford. Does he move up and leave Bassini for dead? No. He brings that one Pennzoil machine with him. They're going to try and both clear him out of 4. Bassini's not going to be able to do it. Flag might have to leave him for dust. Flag, though, going to be our leader in the line. New leader. It's the 26 machine.
That's the first time we've seen anybody really take advantage of the bottom side and even get the lead from the leader, who has always been on the top side early on this evening and currently right now. Rod Flag obviously had a chance to clear him and move up to that high side and join those guys in the party that is the high side. Decided to stay with Bassini. Bassini has been very strong. This is his rookie season, but he has been very, very strong on these races, on these play tracks. He's a very good driver to work with as far as the draft is concerned. So Rod Flag, I don't think he's made a poor decision to stay with that one car, but right now he's not going to have the lead again. Back at the stripe here, completing lap number 11. Wofford back to the lead. Now the battle side by side with Josh Ball, on the top side. Here's that run though that we talk about, the bottom line getting on the entrance of the corner. It's exit a corner where the top line dominates.
Yeah, but the problem with doing that, Andy, is you're going to start to wear out those tires after a while, as we see Wofford and Ball get a huge run down the back straightaway. That's the other disadvantage. You lose that run coming into the straightaways, both the front and the back, so it's really just a case of how much ground you can make in those corners. You really need to time it perfectly if you hope to get past our leaders. Right now, interesting strategy right now. Looks like the 07 is now going to drop to the bottom there. That's Walker. He's going to try and help out those guys. It looked like the 51 might have thought about going with him, but now the 51, the 71, the 98 are all up on that top side. So interesting choices here, but do want to give a call out to William Roberts. He's managing to stay up there, and he's having a great run so far.
Yeah, he's moved up 1 spot since the drop of the green flag on this most recent restart right there. The 51, Jason Altman's on that outside line. Had to use those. We got a battle for the lead now. It looks like Jay Ball He goes all the way to the bottom, trying to get that race lead away from Wofford. It's not going to happen. He had a huge run. It just didn't work out. Now Pileski's going to get pushed Wofford back to the lead. So all that work for nothing right there for the 48. Doesn't even get a lap led.
And also, he's going to fall in the back there because coming out of 4, the 2 DEI cars had a little bit of contact. The 98 and the 1, they kind of tagged a little bit out of 4, and that kind of checked up Piscini on that inside. So he wasn't able to get the line moving. As now the 93 of Pileski, he drops down the bottom. He wants that lead. But the 98 going to give a huge push to the 7 of Wofford. Maybe that 98 wants to lead this thing. No, he's going to stay in the top lane right now. As the 51 looked a little high there, maybe they're going to try and kick that 98 out to the middle. We'll have to see as they come through 4, but a huge push now by the 51 is going to go straight to the back bumper of the 7. Right through the tri-oval now, that 51. He's really fast.
Yeah, he was involved. I was going to mention earlier, he was involved in that first incident with the 77. Went to the middle, ended up running out of real estate, ended up getting caught in that wreck. Had to use his one fast repair already early on in this one. So as we're 3 wide just behind these guys, the 71 of Christian Peterson stuck in the middle right there. He is falling hardcore right now, all the way to the back of this first pack of cars. Immediately just showed you right there, left out the dry, kind of misjudged his run, got on the back bumper, had to get off the throttle. That put him into that middle lane, and everybody just splits him. That's going to drop him outside of the top 10. Pileski now, your race leader, does it on the bottom side. Wofford not able to hang with them currently at the moment. Only one other car up there. That's the 98 of Grant Hooks, doing a great job. But here they come, the battle back. Josh Ball now moves up to the high side right in front of Wofford. Now he's going to get a push down the back straightaway. A huge run. Big wreck. The 26 of Rod Flag gets into the 7 of Wofford all the way in the middle of the back straightaway right there. A huge wreck in front of everybody. Multiple cars involved.
Yeah, looked like what happened there. Pileski got left out to dry there by the 48 of Josh Ball and just dropped like a rock, and there was nowhere for Flag or the 51 to go. They make contact, spin, and next thing you know, we have about 10 junked cars right now on the back straightaway.
Yeah, you take a look at the replay. Exactly what you just called out there happened, and just running out of real estate. These guys trying to push the envelope. This is why I love this series. I love these races every weekend right here on LSRTV and iRacingLive.com. It's just amazing. These guys race so hard lap after lap. And you talk about a fatigue factor when you're at a track like this that's so bumpy, and it doesn't matter if it's a 2-mile oval, a 1-mile oval, a short track. When you're constantly having to saw on that wheel to keep that car straight and on and off the gas, it can get very tiresome rather quickly here. And obviously we're only on lap number 17, and for about 11 of these guys, they ran 40 laps earlier than this. So fatigue could be a factor here later on in this race. But you're talking, these guys just working so hard. And like I said, this is why I love watching these races week in, week out, is just how much effort and how much these guys put into it to try to lead every lap and race for that win, even if they got 100 laps left to go.
Yeah, and we talked about it. The guy who needed to have a consistent run, Rodney Wofford, he was caught up in that wreck. So he's got a bunch of damage. He's going to be coming to pit road, and so will the rest of our leaders. I have to assume the call's going to be 4 tires here. I mean, I wouldn't want to be taking 2. We've seen how loose these cars get and how much you need grip, because otherwise you basically sink, like what we saw Pileski did happen to him there. So I have to imagine as Josh Ball's going to fly through his pit stall there, not able to get it stopped. So he's going to lose a couple spots now. As it looks like some interesting pit strategy for a couple of the cars near the back of the pack. 2 of the Hannerick cars, that's Josh Hanner and Tanner Mann. Looks like they either took 2 tires or maybe played a little bit of strategy call, maybe just drove through pit road. Lessetine's going to join them. So I believe those are going to be your first 3 off pit road. No, Glenn Hendrick also going to stay out here in that 21 Purolator machine. So he's going to have the race lead as we get set, as we start to reorder the field here, as some of the cars begin to roll off pit road.
Yeah, some interesting strategy, obviously. Hey, listen, if you're going to try the 2 tires, you might as well do it now. We're only working lap number 18 of 120. plenty of time to go left in this one. These guys might as well try it. If you're going to try it, if you're a little tight, you might as well try the 2 tires and see what it does to your car. Cisco, I'd rather try it now when you got plenty of time to recover than try it with 10 to go.
Hey Andy, one of the things you and I love to do is dial up a driver. What do you say we dial up a driver?
Let's do it. Let's see, who do you have in mind?
Alright, let's see if we can dial up that 48 car. Why don't you break out the old radio here? There we go. I think we got his frequency there. Josh Ball, Cisco Scaramuza, up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Cisco.
Well, Josh, you had a heck of a moment happen right around you there with that big wreck. Took out a bunch of the leaders there. You came in. It looked like you took 4 tires there. Coming back to the restart here, you're going to have some cars that didn't take as many tires. How are you thinking these guys are going to fare here on the restart?
Well, actually, Cisco, I had a little miscue in the pits there. My brakes weren't set correctly, so I slid through my pit stall, and crew chief decided to put on just 2 right side tires and 1 tank of fuel and get me back out there. So I'm actually just sitting on right sides right now. We wanted to stay up in the top couple positions, so I don't know how it's really going to handle it. We haven't really done 2 tires here at Daytona 07, so it should be interesting.
Talk us through the bumps on this track, because the broadcast really doesn't do it justice just how bumpy this place is. Talk us through that.
Well, usually if you guys are at a Carb Cup event or anything like that, Talladega and Daytona are pretty smooth. There's a little bit of bumps. But here, Daytona 07, before they repaved the surface and the original Daytona on the game, there is bumps here that could throw your car easily into a spin if you're not careful. So you got to definitely be careful here with older tires, or even just we saw a little while ago, I think it was the 77 got into somebody on the high side, and it's probably a bump that just threw him. So
Well, Josh, you were able to finish second last week. You got a pretty strong car this week, obviously. You got plenty of practice from last week running up front with these guys. Then you just had a 40-lap race. Obviously, you caught some damage, so your speed wasn't there in the IROC race. But does the experience, how much does that come in handy for you when you're talking about the bumps on this track and how hard it is to physically drive?
Well, last week actually helped out a lot. I actually went mid race and changed some settings on my wheel. I pitted once and changed them because I was bouncing around terribly and every little bump was about to spin me out. So definitely last week has helped out. I was able to adjust a couple of the things for this week, and it's a lot smoother ride for me tonight. Back into the IROC race, that was totally different. We haven't run the COT cars in a while, I guess. Back to the first race of the season, and we didn't really have any. Goodyear didn't do any tire tests here at 07, so we were kind of winging it with the setup. And as you guys saw, we went green every lap. Setup was just so tight. So we tagged the wall a couple times. It's kind of got me a little nervous with this setup, even though it's a lot better and a lot looser. So.
Well, we wish you luck here as everything getting piled back up to go back racing here. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully we put on a good show for you.
There you have it, driver of the 48, Josh Ball, sitting right now in that second spot. A couple guys that stayed out, Lessentine, the 5 of Tanner Mann, decided to come down pit road right there with the 1 to go. So that's going to move Josh back up into that second spot. Glenn Hedrick, though, decides to stay out here on lap number 20. We're going to have 100 laps to go when the field takes the green this time by off of turn number 4. Pace car going to look to duck down pit road. When it does, the 21 of Glenn Hendricks going to lead this field back to the green flag. Green flag back in the air, and we're racing. A good jump on the outside by the 07 of Derek Walker. He's going to get right on that back bumper of Josh Ball. Try to give him a push right now. Glenn Hedrick, though, a slight advantage. They head back into orange.
Yeah, right now, Ball, though, going to start to get a bit of a run, but we're going to see that line, that bottom line through the corners really going to pay off for Hedrick here, as he's going to get clear of Ball here. Does he move up? He'll leave Pileski out to dry. Oh, it's going to be close to the sides. Better of it. Stays back on the bottom. So now we got some fresh faces up here after that caution. The 07 of Derek Walker, he's up there. The 12 of Corey Henry, he's up there. Corey Henry, who won actually the Dash race just before this race to get a couple extra points there. He had a great run there. He's up there. 42 Seth the Merchant, always strong on the plate tracks, as well as the 71 of Christian Peterson.
Yeah, Rod Mitten, throw him into the mix also. He's on that bottom side, third car back. They're side by side. 2 deep for the top 6 positions right now is Seth the Merchant and the 71 of Christian Peterson. Look on from behind. They've separated themselves just a bit from that second pack as of right now, but off of turn number 2, you can see a couple guys just got loose that last lap by. The number 4 comes to mind, Tommy Hall. He had a little bit of an issue there. He's going to fall way back into the field right now. But Glenn Hedrick, with no tires on that thing, he's doing a great job hanging up there towards the front.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to jump to that outside now, but I don't know if he's going to check up that line and would it be safe, so he's going to stay on the bottom. Pileski really looks like he wants to get the 21 out of the way so he can lead this thing. Right now, Hedrick doing a great job on that bottom side. He's the only person I've seen so far to actually hang on to the lead on that bottom side, so having some great help from Pileski and the 92 of Mitten there. So they're doing a great job on that inside, but a couple team cars up there on the outside behind Ball is the 07 and the 12. Those are 2 team cars, so I can't imagine them not working together here to try and get themselves back up into the mix here, maybe try and get second and third here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to do with a track block like it is with Hedrick on the bottom, Ball on the top side. The top side now with 5 cars, Seth the Merchant and Christian Peterson able to catch back up to this pack by staying in line. Ball gives a good push right there to the 21 of Hedrick. Hedrick moves up to that top side, realize he needs that top side to maintain his momentum around this track. James Pileski was doing a great job to keep him up there, but that bottom side starting to get outnumbered as Corey Henry now is going to look to the bottom, and so does Hedrick. He goes back to the bottom, so Josh Ball still, or not Hedrick, excuse me, that's the 93 of Pileski. He's on that bottom side trying to make it happen. He's doing the exact same thing that Hedrick did, able to maintain that spot, but just not quite getting cleared. He clears him now, though, as the battle for second is shaping up. It's a good one right now with the 07, Derek Walker. He's side by side with Hedrick as they hit the stripe to complete lap number 24.
Yeah, they're doing a great job right now, and Seth the Merchant and Christian Peterson, they're running 7th and 8th right now, and they're just kind of hanging out, just waiting to see what the deck unfolds, waiting to see what happens. But I'd say as we get a little bit closer, maybe towards a longer portion of this race, we'll be seeing those 2 back up in the front before too long. Actually, now Seth the Merchant maybe took a little bit of a look to the inside there, maybe trying to get a little bit of the side draft off the 12 of Corey Henry. But those 2, they're kind of at the back right now, just doing their own thing. But wait for them. I'm sure we'll be seeing them up front before too long.
Been side by side for the lead since the drop of the green flag on this most recent restart right now. Hedrick now pulls way away from that bottom side. He's going to continue to lead this thing right now. Josh Ball has finally cleared that second spot. He's got it all by himself. He's going to look a little bit to the bottom. Going to come back up the track though and stay behind on that top side. Now he's going to drive down on the bottom. Here he goes. He's got a help from Pileski. Can he make it happen on the bottom side? This is a great time to test this theory and see if it's going to work, especially for maybe keep this in the memory bank for the end of the race.
Yeah, Ball's going to get a run here. He's going to be able to clear that 21. I don't know if the 21's going to have any help as Mitten's kind of looking to the inside there. I don't know if he's going to commit to helping that 21 of Hedrick. But either way, it's going to be Josh Ball at the line. So, like you said, keep that in the memory bank. It worked now. Might work again.
Yeah, that's exactly, I think, what Seth the Merchant wanted to do in that IROC race early on, was get the run off of turn number 2 and then just be able to hang on to it all the way around till they get to the start-finish line. It worked right there for the 48. He is going to remember that as this thing carries on. 4 cars now to the bottom side is the 07 and the 93. Now look to the top side. They're going to try to get around that 48. 48 doesn't have any help. Pileski, he's going to have this lead off of turn number 4. Corey Henry decides to jump up into that mix also. Ball now left all by himself now on that bottom side. The 92 of Mitten still about 4 car lengths away from him.
I was just getting ready to say that Josh Ball, he's been really strong, but he doesn't have any friends up there. I mean, the next two friends he has are Josh Hanner and Tanner Mann. Remember, they came in with 1 lap to go, so they're back in 9th and 10th. They're in pack number 2 here, along with Stephanie Lesentine and Sean Turner, as well as Chris Vicini. So those guys are a little bit ways back. So as of right now, Josh Ball doesn't really have many friends up there.
No, he doesn't. We'll take a quick moment to, we talked about earlier on that the 42-point lead that Wofford had over the rest of the field. This might be the night that everybody's been wanting to happen to try to get some points made up on him right now, as the 7 of Rodney Wofford sits 7 laps down because of all that damage he had to get fixed. Make that 8 laps now as they cross the start-finish line. So Rodney Wofford having some trouble here early on. We'll see if he can maintain that thing on the track and see if he can pick up a couple more before this thing's over. But great battles all around this racetrack. Top guys, all single file, all throughout this track. We're about ready to work lap number 30. We're going to step away for a short, quick break. You're watching the iSuperspeedway.com racing series right here on LSRTV.
Domino's TYJ Racing League is proud to announce we are now taking driver applications for our $2,500 purse inaugural season going green January 2016. At Domino's TYJ Racing League, you get paid cash, not gift cards or die casts. Cold, hard cash. You get paid for finishing 1st through 20th in our championship and 1st through 3rd, plus a lucky dog bonus in all of our 20 races, plus other cash bonuses. You're going to like the way you look. All the way to the bank. I guarantee it. Purse amount approximate, paid cash or iRacing bucks. Drivers carry less than $20. Report unsafe driving to local authorities. Apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com to see if you qualify for our league.
Did you know the lion's sense of vision is so powerful, it actually enables nearby creatures to see better? Here we see lions assisting the offspring of others, while their parents are elsewhere in the wild. Brilliant, isn't it? Making the wild kingdom look much better indeed. Do good, be a lion.
Domino's TYJ Racing League is proud to announce we are now taking driver applications for our $2,500 purse inaugural season going green January 2016. At Domino's TYJ Racing League, you get paid cash, not gift cards or die casts. Cold, hard cash. You get paid for finishing 1st through 20th in our championship and 1st through 3rd, plus a lucky dog bonus in all of our 20 races, plus other cash bonuses. You're going to like the way you look. All the way to the bank. I guarantee it. Purse amount approximate, paid cash or iRacing bucks. Drivers carry less than $20. Report unsafe driving to local authorities. Apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com to see if you qualify for our league.
Championship leader has taken over. Vincent holds a 22.5 seconds.
Welcome back, everybody, here to LSRTV's coverage of the iSuperspeedway racing series here on iRacing Live tonight. Also, just had a change for the lead, a big battle going on up front. A couple cars that we expected to see up front here. The Wicked Autosports drivers of the 42, Asset the Merchant, the 71 of Christian Peterson, Cisco, they finally made their way to the front after running about that 7th, 8th, 6th, 7th spot there for most of the beginning of this race here. They finally made their way up towards the front. Now Peterson, though, stuck on the outside all by himself as his teammate in that 42 leads this thing over Josh Ball.
And this is going to get a little bit dicey here as they have a pack of 3-lap cars. They just caught. This is going to be close. Everyone looks like they're going to make it. Yep, it looks like they're going to make it going into one. A couple torn up cars from that big wreck we had as the second caution. But DeMerchant and Peterson kind of started making their move when the 07 actually got shuffled down line. That was the 07 of Walker. He kind of got shuffled out there, and that kind of moved everyone back a little bit, and that allowed the 71 and the 42 to make their move. And now it looks like DeMerchant's going back for his teammate in Christian Peterson. Meanwhile, Henrik still leading the field here with Josh Ball, and DEI behind them in Corey Henry. So it should be interesting to see here who's gonna, we know the 42 and the 71 are working together, but now the 12 lost his friend. So do we see the 12 and the 48 work together maybe? The 93, he's kind of, oh, trouble right now. The 93 gets tagged in the left rear. They save it. No caution. I think they're going to keep it green here. But a great save by those two drivers. Not going to bring the caution out. But, oh, no, there goes the 48 right now. Josh Ball, he lost it. There's the caution now. And he's going to come, that motor smoking. He's going to have to come down pit road. But that's going to shake things up yet again here.
Yeah, it looks like they had it saved right there on the back straightaway, but the 48 must have had a tire down or something. Ended up spinning back up into the track with oncoming traffic on their way in a hurry. For the most part, everyone was the 48 of Josh Ball there. Unfortunately, most guys got around him. I didn't quite catch the number of the guy that just tagged him just a little bit right there in a red car there, but. Josh Ball having some issues right there. A couple of the front runners, a couple of the leaders making some contact right there through 1 and 2 as the replay goes up on your screen now.
You know what, Andy? I'm looking at this replay right now. Do you think the 48 bounced up into the 93? I got a little bit of a look from that. Like the 48, he wanted that low line, but bounced up almost into the 93 of Pileski.
Yeah, that very well could have happened with the bumps here at this racetrack on that bottom side. If you catch them just right, it's going to loosen that car up tremendously when it gets up off the downforce. Whenever they hit those bumps, the cars really kind of bounce up in the air. And if you get touched in the right time when you're going through those bumps, it doesn't take much to get you turned around. And that's what it looked like right there. A couple guys racing hard just got a little too close, and probably a little bit of help from the bumps.
Yeah, right now, and it looks like most of our leaders electing to come down pit road. Our two leaders right now, no, the 92 of Rod Benton, he's going to stay out here, so he's going to inherit the lead unless he comes down later. But right now, the two Wicked Auto Sports machines are two leaders right now, DeMerchant and Peterson. They're going to come down to pit road. Both are going to make it into their stall. We saw, oh no, the 42 is going to have to back up a little bit. He's right against that right side wall. They will be able to service that car, though. As right now, Peterson and DeMerchant look like they're going to take 4 tires right now. Good call by those guys. And right now, the 93 also looks like they're going to get 4 tires as well. So it looks like the call on pit road is going to be 4 tires for everyone. So Peterson and DeMerchant going to head out. Looks like they're going to win the battle off pit road. DeMerchant will at least. It looks like Peterson waited and actually got that 3rd spot so he could be behind his teammate there, the 12 of Corey Henry.
Yeah, these guys mixing it up a little bit on the pit stops here this evening. Different pit strategies happening all over the place. We talked about that earlier in the evening, that this could be a factor. Obviously, track position's huge, any track you go to, but it can be a little less forgiving as far as you can come all the way from 20th to 1st in a matter of laps. Not, it doesn't take that long, especially if you get a decent drafting partner in an open lane to run with. So, is it smart to take 4 tires? Sometimes I think on the caution like this, Cisco, this is like a freebie pit stop. You might as well take the 4 now, save taking 2 when and if you have to come down during a caution or during the green flag run.
Yeah, I think you're right there. We're about 2 laps now from a 3rd distance here in the race. So I think it's not a bad call to come down, take tires. As we see the 92 of Rodman, he's going to elect to come down pit road now. But that's going to leave, no, he's going to come down to the 89 Grumpy Cat machine of Matt Quick. Both of those guys stayed out there. Quick might have been trying to lead a lap, not able to do it because of the 92. So he's also going to come down pit road. So that's going to give the lead back to that Wicked Autosports machine, the 42 of Seth the Merchant. We know how strong those guys are. And those are two team cars that are going to be starting first and third. So they're going to be able to help push each other through that turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of the gamemanship they play when they're exiting pit road like theirs. We got trouble under caution here. The 25 machine having some issues, I think, on pit road. We'll take a peek at this one if we can pull a replay up on the 25 machine of Daniel Ferguson having some issues. It looks like.
Did he get tagged on pit road?
Yeah, we're looking at the replay right now of him coming down pit road, and yeah, it just looks like he's made some.
I don't know. Looks like he forgot where his box was.
Yeah, something. I don't know. That was pretty interesting to watch right there, and really slid into that inside wall right there. And it's not often that you see guys have some left side damage at a plate track.
But we spoke about those teammates on the inside line. We're going to have teammates on the outside, and that's the BTC entries of Corey Henry and Derek Walker. They're going to be starting 2nd and 4th on the outside, so those guys will be teammates as well. So should be interesting here as we get set to go back green pretty soon. I believe we're going to get the 1 to go here. So interesting. 2 sets of team cars, Andy. It's going to be down to which line's faster. We've seen how the low line does in the corner and how well the top line does out of the corner. So which do you think is going to prevail here on the restart?
Well, it's going to be a matter of who wants to push who the hardest right now, and I definitely wouldn't bet against that 42 and the 71. Always fast when they work together right there. But Corey Henry, I think he's got a great partner right there behind him currently of Derek Walker. Derek Walker can get the job also done here at a plate track. So field getting ready to get the 1 to go here, probably this time by. That's going to complete lap number 39. We'll work on lap 40. So when we take the green flag, we'll be a third of the distance done with this one, Cisco. Have we learned anything yet of what possibly could be the best option for these guys in the later part of the race, whether it's a 2-tire pit stop, whether it's a fuel-only deal, or if it's some of these guys might even take the opportunity to maybe stay out and hope to steal one from somebody.
Well, that's what we saw Hedrick do there. Is he's running right now in that 5th spot, so he's pretty happy with his run so far. But I spoke about the 2 sets of team cars. BTC actually has 3 as Chris Bassini's come out. He's going to be starting 6, so they're actually going to have 3 team cars. So it'll be interesting to see, can 3 overtake the 2? And it'll be interesting to watch out for here. I'm interested to see who's going to get the jump here.
That it will set the Merchant off. Obviously, has to lead them to the green flag. After that, it's game on, and anyone and anybody could get going here. But Chris Bassini, definitely a plate track guy to watch out for. Won the first race of the season this year, so he's a guy that knows how to get it done. His inaugural rookie season here, finally got himself up to the front here in this one. Got himself a win early in the race, and green flag is back in the air, and a great jump by these guys heading back into the turn number 1. Corey Henry, Seth the Merchant, battling hard battling hard right there for that top spot.
Right now, BTC is going to try and make that outside work, as right now we're joined in the booth by our driver analyst tonight, who drives the number 23 usually in the Rod Car Truck Tour, Jared Haggerty. Jared, Daytona 07, it's not the easiest place to drive, but right now we're seeing that outside line work. What are you expecting here to see?
Well, right now these guys are definitely going to have to get in line on the outside. That bumpy surface down there on the bottom is really going to affect these drivers, especially Seth the Merchant and the number 71 Christian Peterson. They're going to have to make sure that they hug the inside of that bottom line, because if they go up even just the slightest bit, that is just going to be able to take them out very easily. And these guys on the outside are actually getting a really good run now, as you see the number I think that's an 8 right there. Yeah, that's 88. Mark Sorensen being pushed up there by the 07 Derek Walker. It's a good one. It's Christian Peterson gets a little bit out of shape going down there, down the backstretch. I mean, Andy, these guys are going at it right now. What do you think's going to happen with the rest of these races? They're getting the push down the front stretch.
Yeah, right now the 93 of Pileski, he's going to jump up to that outside as well. So he's going to try and help out the BTC cars, as well as it looks like the 82 of Dan Harrington and the 92 of Rod Minton. They're thinking about which line to go in right now. It looks like the 82 is going to elect to go to the bottom. But right now that top line does have more cars in it, unless the 3 with Hedrick and the 82 of Harrington and Minton, if they can get up there and help the Merchant, they might be able to stop him. As right now the 93 of Pileski, he's going to jump back to that inside line now, so that just leaves those 3 BTC cars out alone. But they're team cars, so they're going to be helping each other, trying to get that outside line moving.
Yeah, we've seen the team cars really come into play more than anything here this last week and here this evening here so far at Daytona. It's been quite a wild last couple of weeks right now. A lot of loose cars. This old track here with all the bumps there, Jared, has just been really giving these guys a lot of fits. You know, I mean, you run side by side typically. You can keep these things right on each other's bumpers. But with these, you actually have to lift through these corners here with all these bumps. Otherwise, it gets real tight, and these guys end up pushing up into each other and into the wall. And we've seen that a lot, especially earlier on in the IROC race. And we're still seeing it here tonight. They just seem to can't really steadily hold a line. They're always constantly moving, and that's what's allowing these 2 lines to be this close up front and not really giving each other much.
Yeah, I don't know if you see it, but every single time the 71 comes up the corner, right there, he actually pushes up really bad, and that's going to be really bad for the 12 of Corey Henry right there. As if he continues to push up, that means those tires are just going to go away and go away over time. And if he doesn't watch it, he's going to put himself right into the inside quarter panel of Corey Henry there. But again, these Big City Motorsports guys, they're running pretty good. As actually now, Chris Bassini jumps down to the inside, and they're going up to block. Christian Pearson throws a great block, and he brings Seth the Merchant with him. That's going to leave the door open for the number 21 of Glenn Herrick down the inside, down into 3.
Yeah, Hedrick doing a great job here on the old tires. We talked about that last pit stop, Cisco, and he wasn't able to, or he stayed out, wanted to lead the laps, wanted to get the track position. He had been running the mid-pack this whole race long, but he's definitely doing a great job on these old tires, able to hang with these guys. He's led a bunch of laps too, and it's not just a fluke that he's been up there, and he's been doing it on that bottom line.
Yeah, this is definitely, he's doing a great job right now, but definitely those Wicked Autosports guys are just holding the stranglehold on the first and second spot. Right now, Big City's going to be trying to get their line back up. The one of Passini kind of got cut off there by the 93 of Pileski, but now he's able to get clear of Pileski, and they're going to try and maybe make a run. As right now, Corey Henry and Derek Walker, they're going to try and line up here and maybe make a charge, those 2 cars, up against the 2 Wicked Autosports cars at the Merchant and Peterson.
And the best thing that these guys could do is probably stay in a single file line right now. They've actually pulled out from that 5th spot there of Hedrick and Persini. They've actually pulled out about 5 or 6 car lengths now over these guys. And that single line of racing they're doing on that high side is really giving them a great advantage of speed right now. It's just behind them right there. Glenn Hedrick pulls up in front of Chris Passini. Now those 2 guys get a big run. So now we're bringing that second little pack all the way back up to this first one. There's not much to do. These cars have a real big suck up in the draft, and Jared, and it's showing here when you're down 5 or 6 car lengths through the corner, and then all of a sudden, by the time you reach that next corner, you're all the way back up on these guys' bumpers. That's a pretty significant thing with the draft here.
Yeah, it just goes to show that once you stay in line and once you get a bunch of cars in line, it's going to be really easy to go to the front. But Glenn Hedrick says, I'm going to do it the hard way. He's got all alone down there. We got a caution on the speedway, Andy and Cisco. What's down there? I was looking at the front of the pack.
That's I believe the 94 machine. He's got a bunch of damage. No, I see smoke in front of him. I'm not actually sure what caused it. We're going to try and get a replay up as soon as we know what happened here. But a caution back on the speedway. It looks like we had a little bit of a wreck, and that's the 85 Oreo machine of Paul Servant. He gets spun around. So we're going to take a look at the replay. It looks like he got up into the outside wall and just kind of spun down in front of the 8 Budweiser machine of Dana Osborne. That's going to bring the caution out. That's going to bunch this field back up, and it looks like bad luck as well for the number 43 Alessantine. She had nowhere to go.
Yeah. 85 got in the wall right there, right in the entrance of the corner. Kind of an interesting spot, Jared, to get into the wall, but the 8 had nowhere to go.
Yeah, actually, our driver, person pushing the buttons, Laura Lawson, actually just come in. Looked like something broke right there, and that really does look like what it happened from up here. I mean, the car just turned dead right going into 1 there, and I mean, I didn't see his hands move. I've been watching him on the cockpit right now, and it just looked like he just slid up there. Maybe just a little loss of attention span. I don't know, but I mean that's really unfortunate because that took out Paul Servant. It took out Lessentine too. Unfortunately for her, her night probably is going to come to an end because of this.
Yeah, we talk about a lapse of concentration or something like that, and we talked about it earlier. As pit road's open, and these guys, leaders, are gonna, at least for the time being, look like they're gonna come down pit road. They are coming down pit road, all of them. But we talk about the concentration when you're in a long race like this, 120 laps. It's such a physical racetrack, and I call it physical because of all the bumps. The fact that you got to just be on the wheel, you're sawing at the thing all night long. Typically at the normal Daytona track, it's so flat, you can hold this thing wide open all around this place, especially Talladega also. But when you get these bumps, you got to actually play with the throttle a little bit to keep the thing down so you're not getting in the guy. That's a lot of mental strain on these guys, a lot of concentration, and not surprised that if something, a little lapse of judgment or something like that, that's going to happen in an endurance race like this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. As we see the cars begin to roll off, 4 tires was the call for basically all the leaders. DeMerchant and Peterson are going to come out 1-2. Hendrick able to get new rubber, so he's going to come out P3. Corey Henry, P4. James Pileski is going to come out in 5th spot. Henry's teammate, Passini, is going to come out 7th.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most of those guys were able to get a clean pit stop. It looks like the only loser on that was probably the number. It looks like the number 20, number 92 actually. Number 92, Rod Minton, was actually the big gainer right there. It looks like number 24, Josh Hanner, might have been the big loser on there because it looks like actually no, he didn't pit. So the 24 of Josh Hanner decides not to pit this time. Well, that might change here as they come around to the pit second time. I mean, what do you think of the strategy so far of not pitting right now?
Well, we've seen a lot of guys kind of stay out and get that lap led, and obviously bonus points when we're only talking about 4 races left in the season after this race here. Bonus points are going to come in handy. I mean, obviously the points battle is pretty wide gap right now. You're talking about 42 points separating the top 2 guys in the standings right now, and Rodney Wofford obviously leading that way, but Rodney's had his trouble here tonight. He's 7 laps down still in this event. He sits 26th on the track. He probably has an opportunity to make a couple more spots up, plus the fact that everybody's wrecking, but this is exactly what these guys needed at the top of the point standings in order to gain something. The problem is to have Wofford have 2 or 3 bad weeks in a row. That's probably not going to happen, especially the way he's running this season with his 3 wins so far.
And right now it looks like Hanner is going to be the one who's actually going to stay out. So he's going to try and do what Glenn Hedrick did there and stay out on old tires. So this will be an interesting restart, Jared. You think Hanner's going to be able to hang up there?
I think he'll be able to hang up there. Josh has done more than enough to prove that he can run up in the front there. I mean, he's one of the great. He is the owner of Hedrick Motorsports, after all, and I mean they've been known to pull stuff out of their hat at the last minute. Josh Ball, Tanner Mann, who's got a win this year. I mean, so these Hedrick Motorsports guys, they know how to get the job done, and it's gonna be really interesting to see what they can do here. But Andy, I think you know what time it is. What time I'm about to say it is. Cisco,
Oh, no.
you might not be so used to this. But what we're gonna do Haggerty's House of Horrors here. We're gonna pick. Oh, wait a minute. We're actually got Josh Hanner pitting right now. But before we go green here, we're gonna do Haggerty. We're gonna do Haggerty's
Let's go
House of
down to
Horrors
pit road
and
quick.
pick
Let's not do this.
and pick who our winners for the race are. Cisco, we're gonna start with you, bud.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to pick the guy who actually won the dash race right before this event. I'm going to go with that number 12 of Corey Henry. He's been trying really hard on that outside, and he does have a couple of his teammates around him. So, looks like we're hearing the 24 got damage repaired there. But Corey Henry, he's going to be my pick to win this thing.
All right, I'm going to do my pick. I'll save Andy's for last here as we're going. But my pick, I'm actually going to give it to a guy who's shown a lot of progress this season and who's shown really he can run up there in the last few races. I'm going to actually pick the number 82 of Dan Harrington. He's actually done a really good job these last few races. I've been really impressed on how he's been able to run and keep his car clean. Plus, the Legend of Zelda car never hurts. Andy, you're our final pick. What you got?
Is it too late to pick Wofford?
Yes, it is. You got has to be on the lead lap at least. Come on, you got
okay. Now,
20 cars
now
here.
you can make that rule up. So, all right, we'll do that. Has to be on the lead lap. No, actually, you know, a guy who's impressed me tonight is that 21 car, Glenn Hedrick. Stayed out that last round of pit stops, old tires, was able to hang with those leaders, led a bunch of laps with them. His car seems to be real solid underneath him tonight. He got what he needed, was caution, everybody to come down. Now he's going to restart in that third spot. So look out for that 21 car tonight. I think he's due for one as the pace car now dips to pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Set the Merchant leading the way this time. He's got his teammate to the outside who's going to give a little bit and let the other in front of him is Hedrick trying to get on that back bumper. Set the Merchant the one, trying to give him that push to the lead.
Yeah, right now Hedrick all over the back bumper of that 42 of Colt Trickle. I mean Seth the Merchant. But right now, that outside line isn't really working right now. The 71 of Peterson is kind of sliding back, but now 42 is going to jump up in front of the 71 of Peterson, his teammate. So those two are going to hold that outside line and try and make it work here, as Hedrick and Bolesky are going to lead the charge on the inside.
Yeah, we pretty much expected them to happen. Let's look at our sports. We're going to definitely want to keep that team aspect going, but Glenn Hedrick being all by himself and not really having a teammate this year, he's doing a really good job there on the inside. He's going to try to take the lead away from 42 and Seth the Merchant there, but right now they're starting to break up a little bit, and unfortunately that inside line has shown that it's going to fizzle out. But hopefully with three guys there on the bottom, it's going to show that the draft is going to come into play. But right now it's looking like Glenn Hedrick is not going to get anything done, as the 07 is actually going to jump up as they head off into 3.
And right now as they head out into 3, the Wicked Auto Sports guys, they're going to get a great run in the corner. So for the first time in Hedrick's basically got no help. No one wants to help out old poor Glenn Hedrick, and he's going to head to the back. Right now, car on the wall a little bit, I believe was the 93. He tagged it ever so slightly. Right now, that outside line is seeming to prevail here.
Yeah, the outside line, we've seen it last week. We saw it earlier this evening. Outside lane is the place to be. Hedrick, though, he's not going to give up on that bottom side. He hasn't yet here tonight. Car's getting a little loose there off of turn number 2. It looked like Corey Henry almost got into the wall. The 82 almost followed him into the wall right there. As the leaders here up working the high side, that Set the Merchant with help with his teammate with Peterson, with Pileski. And the 07 Derek Walker, they head to the bottom. They got a pretty decent run, but I don't think they have enough to hold off the 42.
I honestly thought Henry was going to go with his teammate there, but he didn't. He stayed the outside, so that's going to split up the two big city cars. Right now, Piscini, though, he's got the 82 in front of him, but then maybe he'll be able to help out his teammate in the 12, so Piscini's got to get back up there. But right now, Wicked Auto Sports continues to lead as they come out, too. They got a great run at that outside.
Yeah, those guys are just getting way too big of a run. They're going to these guys behind them, they're going to have to find some way to break up this duo. I mean, they're just getting that such a good run as they go off the outside. And you got the 82 in the wall right there. He tagged the wall as they were coming down into 3. The 82 of Dan Harrington tagged the wall, broke up the pack just a little bit. That's going to separate these two packs now. They're going to have to get single file if they want any chance of catching this lead pack.
Yeah, great battle up front's just getting kind of crazy. Everybody's switching lanes about every 10 seconds, it seems, here up at the front of the pack. Still showing away those teammates there in the 42 and 71. They're side by side for that third spot. That's Henry on the outside, Pileski on the inside. Hedrick still hanging tough with these guys. I'm really impressed, honestly. Even if he doesn't win this thing, for my ego anyway, it'd be nice to see him win. But even if he doesn't win this thing, just a great show that he's been putting on up front here, able to stay with these guys. And typically, week after week, it seems like he's just had that bad luck and having the issues, either getting in someone else's mess. So good to see the 21 up front running this well early on. The problem is that bottom side just is not the place to be tonight.
No, but he's been able to make it work sort of on that inside, but right now the only car down there to help him is the 93 Pileski. I think Pileski wants to go the lead. He just can't get enough people to help him do it. We know he's got a fast car, but he needs like maybe 2 teammates like the big city guys to come down and help him get past, as right now Henry's going to get moved up to 3rd, Walker's going to get moved up to 4th. So those 2 are going to drop in right behind Wicked Autosports. So I'm thinking we're going to see here as soon as the 07, if he does get clear, he's in the wall. He's in the wall, tags the 92. They're 3 wide. They save it. The 22 of Hedrick had to go down the apron there to avoid getting in the wreck. But great save by everyone around. But that's going to kind of break away our 3 leaders now, as it's Henry, Peterson, and DeMerchant. They've got about 4 or 5 car lengths on Pileski and Hedrick, but those 2 are going to try and make their run back up to the lead.
Yeah, those guys, that was a big save by the 07 of Derek Walker. I saw he had that car basically sideways as they went off into that turn. I mean, I really don't know how he saved it, but unfortunately that's working up this pack. And now it's starting to seem that you've got 2 separate packs. One pack now being led by the 07 of Derek Walker in that second pack, and this starter pack, the front pack, being led by the 42 of Sets Merchants still. But I mean, that's going to be a big factor, I think, later on in this race. I mean, if these guys in the second pack can all get single file, I think realistically they're going to have a chance to catch these guys. But what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to start running the outside. As you see them run the inside line there, and we've seen time and time again this whole race that the inside line is just not the place to be, and they're going to have to get to the outside if they want any chance of catching these guys.
And isn't it quite refreshing, Jared? I mean, week after week, we see that high side really have not the advantage. Even with, when they try to outnumber the bottom side, it's just so tough at these other tracks for the top side to make it work and to have the advantage. It's always that bottom line. But when we come to the 2007 Circa track here at Daytona, it's the total opposite. It's quite refreshing to watch.
Yeah, it's very, very refreshing. But now I think those guys in that back second pack heard me, is they're actually starting to very slowly catch this front pack. The reason why is because these guys cannot decide if they're going to be running single file or if they're going to run double file. And because of that, the second pack is now slowly starting to gain on that front pack. As you see the 93 Pileski still trying to make that inside work, but it's just not getting that good of a run. And we're actually coming up with some lap track effect. This is going to put a big squeeze on here. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it. This track is very loose. They get by the lap traffic okay. They went 3 wide there for a second, made it work, and that was a very hairy moment. But they're all going to get single file now as they go down the backstretch.
Yeah, they're going to get single files right now. The 93 Pileski gets shuffled up to the outside there. Looked like the 21 and the 93 both got a little bit loose. So now Corey Henry going to drop in behind that 21 of Hedrick. And now it looks like that second pack, they're starting to catch, at least Walker and Piscini have. Those 2 have basically been tandeming. So they're having a great run as they're about ready to break into that front pack and try and mix it up here with those guys.
It's going to be 8 cars trying to battle for the lead here. We just crossed the halfway point, working lap number 63. Let's take them through the iRacing.com full field rundown, mid-race rundown, I should call it. Right now, currently, your leader is Glenn Hedrick. Second is the 42, Aset the Merchant. Corey Henry runs third. Fourth to Christian Peterson. And fifth to Rod Mitten.
6 is going to go to James Boleski. 7th going to go to Derek Walker. Chris Bassini is right now ended up in 8th. Dan Harrington, he's up to 9th. And Matt Quick, he's running 10th.
088 again, Conley's going to run off 11th. 12th is going to be Tommy Hall. 13th, Dana Osborne. 14th, Ray Rittenauer the second. And rounding out your top 15 is going to be the Hedrick Motorsports car of Josh Hanner.
And
Tanner
Mann in that number 5 is running 16th right now. 17th to Sean Turner. Mitchell Reeves runs 18th. Last car on the lead lap is Rod Flagg in the 19th position. And one lap down is the number 2 of Donnie Giarratano in 20th.
Justin Anderson was involved in that first caution. He's running 21st, 3 laps down. Behind him, Rodney Wofford. You know, he was the favorite coming in tonight, but now he's running 22nd, 8 laps down. 23rd, go to the 33 of Larry Camp. 24th is going to go to the 48 of Josh Ball, who was in that second caution, as well as 25th is going to go to the 85 also.
26 is going to be Stephanie Lestantine. 27th, Danny Ferguson. Brandon Chaburko is going to roll off 28th. 29th is going to be Jay Riot, and he's going to kill me for saying the wrong name. But 30th is going to go Ramon Evans. 31st, Frank Basilia the third. 32nd, Logan Clampett. 33rd, Greg Hudson rounding out your field. It's going to be 09 of William Roberts Jr. We actually have a really good battle now going on. Glenn Hedrick still trying to take that lead away from the 42 and Set the Merchant, but he's not been able to make anything happen so far. I mean, what's that say for the inside line as we go along with this race? He's got no help now. Cisco, what do you think Glenn's doing? Is he going to burn up his tires going down there, or is it just safer to be on the outside there?
I don't know, because he's been running that bottom line every chance he's got. So I don't know if that's just the way the setup is now. He's going to jump to the outside, and Henry says, okay, well, I'll take the inside then. So I think he slowed him down a little bit so Henry can avoid making contact, jump to the bottom there. But Hedrick, I don't know, it just looks like he doesn't have a whole lot of friends here, as it looks like our leaders are going to catch another lap car. This should make it interesting.
Yeah, they catch him right at the tri-oval, not too bad. That's the 26 machine of Rod Flagg. That's going to put him back down a lap once again here in the 19th spot there. But yeah, we've seen Hedrick in that 21. He's pretty much been the only guy that's really tried that bottom side, and to some point he's made it work. He's been able to stay up there inside the top 3 for the most part on the inside lane. So with a little bit of help, he might be able to make it happen, but it's going to be tough. It's been tough for these guys to work that bottom side, but we'll see what happens as things go on. We're about halfway through this run. We're past the halfway point of this race. Still a lot of racing left to do, but we're going to take a break. We're going to step away, take a break, pay some bills. We'll be back right after this. You're watching the iSuperspeedway.com racing series right here on LSRTV.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself. And they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building 2 tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result, and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to Daytona International Speedway, LSRTV's coverage of the iSuperspeedway.com racing series, the Throwback 300. Oh, trouble on the track.
It looks like the 12 of Corey Henry got up. Oh, sorry to cut you off there, Andy, but yeah, it looked like he got up in the wall, so he's now really slow.
Trouble! Dan Harrington's in the wall. Dan Harrington almost spun it out there in the wall. Dan Harrington, the 82, got really loose there through the tri-oval, and that almost cost a caution there as he's slow off the pace. Sorry to cut you off there, Cisco.
And now it looks like Jared's House of Horror, or Haggerty's House of Horrors is struck. As both mine and your picks are gone. Andy's the only one left.
I feel bad. I gotta apologize to Dan Harrington after the race now. So, I mean, it's struck. Now, I guess it's all up to you, Andy. I mean, your guys were in there on the bottom. I mean, what do you think his chances are at this point?
Well, we're watching the replays of the trouble that happened first with Corey Henry, but yeah, it's been I don't know, maybe my curse is over. I don't know. Why? Maybe I just spoke too soon.
No, my curse lives on. Thank you. Yours has already been broken this season.
Yeah,
Didn't even have any, and I might.
There you go. Working lap number 74 of this one. Some 45 laps still left to go here at Daytona. Lots of time, lots of racing time, but of course right now you got 7 guys right now kind of split away from the... Wow, what a move by Pileski. Almost got in the back end of the 21 there. Had to actually let off the throttle there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground, but man, what a bull move right there. But yeah, you talk about the top 8 guys really kind of separating themselves from the rest of the field. We saw this earlier, Cisco, in the IROC race when it ended up being just these small little 3-pack of cars that were running all over the place on the track. After a long green flag run like we currently are on right now, that's the thing that can happen, especially at the track like this bumpy, when it takes a lot when the driver input has a lot to do with the race.
Yeah, and you know who was up in that first pack was that driver of the 42, Seth the Merchants. We have a couple takers coming down to pit road. It's going to be the 2 Big City Motorsports cars. That's Piscini and Walker, the 2 left, I should say. They're going to come down pit road. So maybe a little bit of strategy, going to try and short pit it here, maybe.
Yeah, short pitting, in my opinion, is going to be your best bet at this point. But right now, I was actually watching up front, and Clint Hedrick got really loose going into one that was almost sideways. Really lucky to save it there, but that's going to drop him all the way back to 5th now. Is actually Pileski's going to try again to take the bottom side, but still, that has not been the way to go around these guys. Seth the Merchant and Peterson still continue to power off that corner at either 2 or 4, and they're dominating right now. And if they continue to do this, it's going to be hard to get past them. They're going to have to pray that some of these guys, for short feeding, they're going to be able to stay out front and get ahead of these guys to even make any ground.
I do want to point out that those 2 big city cars did come down, as well as their teammate Corey Henry. Henry actually beat him off pit road. So those 3, maybe a little team strategy. They're going to try and help each other in the draft and maybe try and short pit this thing. So an interesting strategy there by Big City Motorsports. But right now the battle for the lead still continuing. It's the 92 and the 93 trying now. It's just those 3 now, and then Wicked are holding the top 2. So it's down to 3 cars that are going to try and make the moves on the leader here.
Yeah, that it is. And we talk about the 2 big city guys up front, 42 is Seth the Merchant, the 71 of Christian Peterson. Both of those guys starting outside the top 20 here tonight, not practicing, not taking qualifying lap, starting 23rd and 24th, and here they are. They've worked with each other this whole race since the drop of the green flag. They've pit at the same time. They played a little game on pit road of kind of stopping, letting the car out ahead of them so they could start on each other's nose, the tail nose to each other, and they've worked so well together here tonight. But you talk about teamwork and like this, but when you get down to last 10 laps or so of this race, you kind of almost got to throw the teamwork play out the window, because you're fighting for a win, a spot in the chase, a spot to an advantage to these other guys when you go into the chase, because we obviously Seth the Merchant has won already this season. So when you talk about that stuff, it's really just something that these guys working hard together, and then you got to throw it all out the window to try to beat the other guy. So it's fun to watch, and it's a good thing to watch as these guys continue to just show their way around this track.
And right now, Seth the Merchant just came over the radio. They're pitting this time. So our 2 leaders are going to come down pit road, as well the rest of the top 5. They're all going to come down pit road. Going to make sure they hit that speed limit. Right now, looks like everyone was okay. 60 miles an hour tonight is your limit on pit road. Didn't look like anyone's smoked their tires. Clean entry into the box right here. Everyone looks good so far. But our top 5 are in. They're going to try and maybe take tires here and get those cars refueled.
Yeah, definitely going to want to take tires here. At least 2 on the minimum. Let's see if we have any takers for 2, as we had a few guys overshoot their pit stalls that were coming out after these guys. 87 looked like he overshot his pit stall, but yeah, for the most part, these guys got out really good. Hendrick, unfortunately, is going to be the sore loser. He is cut way far away from these guys. He's going to have to make up a lot of ground. He wants any shot of getting back up here to these top 4. And one thing actually I did want to point out, Andy, is I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think of the new rule where the reset is actually out of the window? Because I actually found this was an interesting rule that Rod Flag brought up at the end of last week, or during this week actually. He actually announced the rule that they were no longer going to be able to have a free reset. And Cisco, I'll let you weigh in your opinion as well, but Andy, what do you think of that new rule change and how it's affected this race so far?
I think what Rod's trying to do right there is cut cautions down. I think he felt maybe that these guys are racing a little too aggressive, especially at the beginning of the race. I mean, I personally think that the aggressive style that we've seen all season long, lap after lap with these guys, is what makes these races exciting and fun to watch. And not to say that they haven't done that tonight, not having a reset, because they've done a great job of, for the most part, keeping the thing clean and keeping themselves out of trouble. Obviously, we've had a couple cautions, but we still have 17 cars on the lead lap. So I think, honestly, that's what Rod was trying to accomplish with that, is say, look, you got no resets now. That means you got to keep that thing clean the whole race, not just part of it and then hope you can use your reset towards the end. I think he was trying to eliminate maybe some over-aggressive driving. He doesn't want to take away from the racing. These guys put on a great show week after week, but I really think that's what it's done. And you know what? Has it made a better race? We've had a lot more green flags, I'll tell you that. A lot more green flag laps, and I think maybe that's what he was trying. I know the Truck Series has been cutting it close week after week of actually getting the thing on in time. So I just think it's a strategy call by the race officials, just trying to try something, and you got to give them an A for effort to try to do something to curb that.
And that was interesting. As you were watching there, our leaders had to split two or three lap cars there. And that's actually going to cut off Peterson from his teammate with Merchant. That's going to put Pileski up to second, so move the 93 up to second. He's now in a position no one's basically been in since towards the beginning of the race. He's actually cut off the Wicked Autosports guys. So if he can continue to stop those guys being together, you know, maybe the 92 of Mitten can come in here and mix it up a little bit. Should be interesting.
Yeah, Cisco, I still gotta get your opinion on the reset rule. I mean, I hate to throw you under the bus, but I want your opinion at least to weigh in on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's right now the 93 gonna get shuffled out of line, but no, I think it's a decent enough call. I mean, we've seen a couple of these races where, you know, we've had these huge accidents happen, and, you know, people are able to go back out, and it does kind of stink for the people, you know, people like Stephanie Lesentine, who really just, you know, victims of circumstance. It really hurts them, but I think it does help the racing, and I think it does add a little bit more consequence to every action you're going to take. We've definitely seen that tonight, you know, people making moves or double checking they're making moves to make sure they don't do something, you know, dumb or stupid here that might tear up a couple race cars. So I think it's a good call, but we'll have to see as the weeks go on to see will that maybe take away a little bit of the aggressive driving? Yeah, I think it will, but I think it'll take away more of the kind of boneheaded driving and put in more some aggressive but safe driving, really.
Well said right there, I'll tell you that. But only time will tell, honestly, to see how this thing goes. One race definitely can't be a judgment point of if it works or if it doesn't. We're going to have to see as the season continues to roll on here. Obviously, 4 weeks left to go in the season after this week. Chase time is really starting to heat up here. These guys are all trying to make their last-ditch effort, trying to make it themselves into the chase. So they're running out of time to do it, but they're running out of time in a good way for some of these guys. They've been showing their speed all season long, honestly, especially that 7-car Wofford. Problem is when the chase starts, all the points get shuffled back to 0, so he'll have to start all over. But he's shown at least in consistency and winning a couple races that he could easily pull back out to a pretty sizable lead in the championship hunt.
Alright, Jared, Andy, I want to do something interesting here, because I've noticed now that we've had green flag pit stops, instead of doing maybe like a driver rundown, let's talk about the different packs that we're going to be seeing. Right now we have that lead pack right now, that's the 2 Wicked Autosport machines of DeMerchant and Peterson, along with Pileski and Rod Mitten. That's kind of your top 4. We then flash back to the next big pack, that's Glenn Hedrick. He's been pushed by the lap machine of Ramon Evans. And up there also is Sean Turner, who is also laps down. So that's our P5 car. The next pack, that's the Big City Motorsports guys. That's Walker, Piscini, and Henry there. That's your top 8.
Yeah, and like you said, they're all teammates that are in these little packs right there. Like you said, during the pit stops, the biggest loser right there was Glenn Hedrick. Wasn't able to come out in that top 4 pack. Now he finds himself almost 6 seconds back from these guys from the race lead. That's a tough thing to make up here at this track. But he's got help. And he's got people that are like, look, hey man, let's get in line. Let's figure this out, and we'll try to get you up to the front. And they're doing a great job with it, albeit they're lap cars, but they're still showing a decent enough speed to at least keep them in contention right now. He lost some more time that lap, so the damage on those 2 cars definitely not helping with the speed, but it's better than not having anybody pushing you.
Yeah, but I'm kind of torn on the situation. I mean, I really like these guys up front. I mean, they've been running a great race all night long. I mean, I can't not Seth the Merchant, and I cannot Christian Peterson. But after a while, I really do kind of want to see some more cars up there and just challenging for the lead and making it a little bit more interesting. I mean, I respect the rule that Rod has given with the no resets and everything, but in my opinion, I do believe it has taken away a little bit from the aggressive driving style, and that's kind of something I want to see a little bit more. I mean, yes, it is going to breed more cautions in the end, but that exciting racing is what this series is known for, and I'm really hoping that they're going to be able to bring it back maybe next week. As I mean, they got these separate packs. It is good racing, but at the same time, I do want to see a little bit more aggressive driving.
And I think part of it comes from the track, Andy. I think that's kind of, maybe this is a tougher track, and you know, we see the cars are a lot looser than we're used to. It's a completely different line. So I think the track has something to do with that.
Yeah, it definitely does, and we talked about that way earlier with the bumps being on the bottom side. And when you talk about a track, and then you got to put it in the driver's hands to, you know, play with the throttle a little bit to keep the car down because it's so tight, or you know, run these different lines, and you know, the side-by-side action obviously slows you down, and you know, to see these guys, you know, do that, what it's gonna do is it's gonna split the field up. It's just typical of anywhere. I mean, if you take these cars and you put them at, say, Kentucky, a mile and a half, we all know how bumpy that bottom side is at Kentucky, and it does the same thing on a track like that. When you put it in the driver's hands, it'll separate the field, and the field will get strung out. But the only thing that's going to get these guys bunched back up at this point, and we all know that, is a caution flag. We don't want to see it. Obviously, we got a great battle. These top four guys don't want to see a caution at all. You know, they want to settle this out amongst themselves. And when you think about that, and these guys, they only have 3 guys to worry about in order to take that top spot away from them, and instead of you know, a big pack of 20 guys or so that would be up in the front with an opportunity to take this thing away. But those 2 guys right now, Seth the Merchant, Peterson, they're by far been the tandem to beat all night long, and they're definitely it just doesn't seem, as long as they're nose to tail, anybody can do anything with them.
Now, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news or the Grim Reaper to these guys, but what I've actually noticed is that, unfortunately for these guys up front, they probably are going to have one more pit stop. By my calculations, they came in at lap 80, right before lap 80, so that it was 78 they came in. So that's going to unfortunately put them right at the bubble mark of being able to run in this fuel window. So, I mean, Cisco, what do you think these guys with a short fuel tank? It's going to bring a lot of strategy, and maybe some of these guys are running on a different fuel strategy. I mean, what do you think?
Well, we saw the big city cars. They came in a little bit earlier. They're running 5th, 6th, and 7th. Glenn Hendrick and his have kind of joined that one now. But Hendrick's on the same fuel strategy as our leaders right now, so he might be trying to save a little bit of fuel. But the way our leaders are dicing around right now, I don't think even a whole lot of fuel doing that. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think Big City will be able to make it. I know they're kind of working together, and they might be able to save a little bit more because they're all teammates. But I don't think they can save enough to make up for, I think it was like 3 laps or something, the difference in them pitting versus us. So I don't know. I'm looking back through the pack. The next kind of big pack we have is being led by Hannerick, and that's Tanner Mann and Josh Hanner running 9th and 10th. You also have Matt Quick in there, as well as the 8 of Dana Osborne and the 87 of Ray Rittenauer. So, I don't know. We might be walking into a fuel strategy race here, boys.
Yeah, and you know what that's going to do is it's going to also, do you take tires? Do you take 2 tires? Do you know, is it just a splash and go and try to get yourself back out there? But either way you look at it, you got to come down with a partner, you got to come down with a teammate, you got to come down with somebody, or you're going to be left out to dry like earlier this last stop. Glenn Hendrick was unable to come out with these top 4 guys right now that continued to pull away. Pretty good pretty good battle going on a little bit further back in the field for that 9th spot. Tanner Mann leading the way, and you see all those guys just nose to tail. They're all up on each other. They're making up some decent time. The problem is they're 20 seconds back from the leader. Obviously, they need a caution. They need something drastic to happen to get themselves back up there, but they're doing everything they possibly can. But that's a pretty good race going on right now on the track.
And what kind of stinks for them is they're actually the biggest pack. Well, no, actually, no, that pack of Big City plus Glenn Hedrick and a couple of the other cars, that's the biggest pack on the track. But it's gonna be hard to get a caution here with the field as spread out as it is.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard for them to make up that much time. I mean, it's pretty much impossible right now. But as I just get word from up in the booth, Laura Lawson just pointed out, we have 32 lead changes here tonight. That's a big deal, especially for this league. I mean, we have not seen that many lead changes in a long time here. Actually making 33 now as Pilecki's going to go to lead again. But it looks like we're going to have a lead change number 34 here as the 42 takes it right back as they go down the backstretch. So, I mean, back and forth action continues up front. And again, 42 Seth the Merchant and 71 Christian Peterson are just not letting these guys get anything. But when it comes down to it, Andy, will Christian Peterson push Seth the Merchant to the win, or will he try to take it for himself?
Well, listen, like we talked about earlier, right now, teammates, you're best friends. You know, you're helping each other stay out front, almost like a short track race, and just protecting that line that they're in. Obviously, it's a top side here at Daytona, but they're protecting that line. You know, they're basically saying, go ahead, go to the bottom. Well, you know, you'll stall out, and we'll continue to keep this thing up front. But these guys are, you know, when all said and done here, coming down to the end, they're gonna be racing each other real hard because they're gonna want that win. So we'll see what happens. I mean, as long as those two right behind them there, Rod Mitten and James Pilecki, stay with them, it's going to be tougher for them, and it's going to come down to pit strategy if they want to just get a splash and go so they can make it to the end, or take tires. And what are those two guys? Oh, Glenn Hedrick in the grass right now on the front stretch. The 21 having some issues. Well, there goes my jinx. He's on pit road actually now. Going to come down, and but he was in the grass right there, and unfortunate right there for the 21. He's going to fall way back into the point.
I believe he's going to get a penalty for not safely entering pit road, considering he went through the grass there. So I don't think that's going to be a safe pit entrance. It looks like he just blew through the cone right there. So I believe that's going to be an unsafe pit exit. I believe that's add a couple seconds to your pit stop. Yep, it's going to be a 22-second stop for the 21 car. So that's just going to put him further behind, at least a lap down. I'd say that might be nail in the coffin for Glenn Hedrick.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. Haggerty's House of Horrors continues. I'm sorry.
Week after week, and you know what? These guys are going to watch the broadcast back, and they're just going to... We're eventually going to get some hate mail from these guys saying, stop.
Oh, and it's all going to be me. I mean, hate mail's all going to come to me because it's Haggerty's House of Horrors. So.
Well, I hope so, because if I get any, I'm just going to forward it to you. I'm not even going to read it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
I think I see in Hedrick's pit stalls, they're holding up signs right now. I can't even read that on the broadcast. Something about Haggerty. Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's okay. I'll be the one to get in trouble from our producers up top. But right now, I mean, unfortunately, put them in a bad spot. But the point I actually wanted to bring up here is that we got a number 8, Dana Osborne, through the grass here, as we're just hearing. But the point I really wanted to bring up is, do you think the 71 should be trying to at least look for a way to get by Seth the Merchant right now? Because, I mean, he's just sitting back there. But unfortunately, when it comes down to the end of the race, are you going to have that speed and that know-withal to get around the 42 there? Because that bottom side is going to be stalling out. Should he be looking for a way, at least peeking for a way to get around him? Or should he be saving that for the end?
Well, we've seen these guys, 30-second stop right there for the 8 car, so definitely a pit road violation, unsafe pit entrance for him. That's going to cost him his chance at this race here too. But as long as these 2 guys up front, the Merchant and Peterson, maintain that high side, I don't think there's anything anybody can do. I mean, unless they can somehow force them to the bottom and take the high side, they're going to have to get something going here. But we saw earlier that Hedrick Cisco actually made a good move there. Off of turn number 2, was able to get the lead by about half a car length or so by the time they got to the front straightaway. So, and we saw it in the IROC Series race that set the Merchant. I think he learned something with that one, as far as maybe getting yourself a little bit of a gap and trying to get that run to get him off of turn 2, because you don't want to wait till turn 4. There's just not enough time to make that pass to get ahead of them before the start finish line.
I mean, you have your teammates in the gap seat. You're in the sit and duck position right now, and it's just a matter of I don't think Peterson's gonna, unless 93 and the 92 are able to get a run going well enough past him. I don't think they'll be able to do it. I think they might have to wait for the 71. And I feel like the 71, he might try and go and win this thing. I honestly think he might try and do it. I mean, we've seen him work with his teammates so long, but come on, you want one of those trophies, right?
Yeah, talking right now over the radio, we hear the 93 of Pileski and Rod Minton in the 92 deciding they're going to come down pit road next time around. So they're going to do it early. We're about to work lap number 105 here. So 16 laps left to go in this event. Obviously, these guys have to make that one last pit stop. We'll have to see what the strategy plays out for the 92 and 93, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on them when they come down pit road this time by, working their way off of turn number 2 right now currently. Peterson to Merchant still class of the field right now currently, but these last round of pit stops are all starting to shape things up right now.
Yep, as they come into turn 3 right now, the Merchant hasn't said anything, so I don't believe those 2 are going to come down to pit road, so they're going to hang on to the lead here. You said they were on the bubble, Jared. Does bubble mean make it, or does bubble mean maybe not so much? It looks like Pileski and the 92 Minton were able to get into pit road safely.
I actually like that strategy call by short pitting, because as we've seen time and time again, short pitting is the way to go here. And I mean, these guys, I really think they made the right call by short pitting there, because I'm hearing that the 93 overshot his pit stall, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. But as long as he didn't take any tires, I really think they're going to be fine. But right now, I got word he's getting taken forward now. So, we actually got the 42 and the 71 coming in this time by. So, the Merchant and Christian Peterson are going in. I think, the 71 overshoots. He was going way too fast, I think. I don't know if he's going to get a penalty this time. That could be devastating for him if he gets a penalty here. What did you see there?
It was definitely close. At the cone, I saw 70, but I guess we'll just find out and wait to see how long the 71's pit deal is. He's still there. Yep, I believe he got one, and that's going to mean the Merchant is going to have no friends, and that is the last thing he wanted to see right there.
Yeah, it is absolutely the last thing you... Wow, that was close right there. Wow, that was a huge penalty right there. He's still on the track. It the Merchant starts to merge back on the back straightaway right now. Currently, you're going to have to see where Rod Minton and James Pileski can catch back up to him. That's probably going to be the only thing that the Merchant will have for him, as these guys are at full speed right now. So the Merchant definitely, he's cruising right now. He's still ahead of those guys, but they're going to be coming pretty quick. The problem he's going to have is if he's going to be able to maintain or get in their draft, or if they're going to be too fast going around him.
Well, that was a lead change nonetheless, and our new leader is going to be the 89 Grumpy Cat Machine, and that's Matt Quick. He's got the lead now. So, first time I got to say that all night, the Grumpy Cat Machine, he's in the lead now.
Yeah, but he's going to be giving up the lead now. Matt Quick comes in for his final time out on the track. He's going to be getting service now. But I don't know. I mean, Seth the Merchant, he has got so much of a lead now on James Pileski. And now he has found the 71, who is unfortunately a lap down now. But it looks like he's going to try to help his teammate and push him to the win here. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's a little bit of an unfair advantage, but, I mean, that's racing.
It is racing, but you know what? For Christian Peterson at this point, and you got to say Seth the Merchant doesn't have to worry about Peterson wanting to win now. So it's his race to lose, basically, as long as he can maintain that 71, can maintain right behind him, which it looks like they're going to be able to do. This might spell a little bit of trouble for the 92 and the 93 of Pileski and Mitten, because these two now are hooked up together. They got a pretty sizable lead over Rod Mitten and James Pileski. So this is going to be tough, and I think they just made the call. Even though the 71 had trouble on pit road, he timed it right, talking to his crew chiefs, the spotters, and staying up on the same page as the 42, and just basically waiting for him to come around. Now he's going to give him the help and push him. And as long as this thing stays green, I think these guys have it in the bag.
Yeah, and he's got a 7-second lead over Rod Mitten and James Pileski right now, so you can almost put the nail in the coffin for these guys, unless there is a wreck right now, which we've seen crazier things happen in this league. And, I mean, I know these guys are probably just praying for a wreck at this point, but I don't think they're going to get it. But even if they do get a wreck, that means Christian Peterson and some of the other guys would go ahead and get the wave around. So interesting stuff happening here in the final 10 laps here. We're coming up on 11 laps to go here in this final run here at Daytona Circa 07. And Cisco, I mean, this has been a good race so far, but do you think that's a little bit of an unfair advantage that the 71 did there?
I think it's a very smart play by the spotters there. I think that's what that is right there. And I think, you know, great timing by the 71. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's not really an unfair advantage. I mean, the 71, he just went from potentially winning this race to finishing one lap down. So, you know, there's nothing unfair about it, but does it kind of stink for the rest of the drivers? Oh, yeah, because it means basically DeMerchant's got a huge lead over Mitten. They timed it well, so, I gotta say, I just gotta tip my hat to those guys. They were able to keep it cool under pressure and made it work. So I gotta say, that's probably gonna be the call of the race right there.
Yeah, I mean, you could have easily said right there for the 71, could have just packed it up and said, well, I'm done. Instead, he decided, let's get out there, let's find the 42, and let's make sure a teammate gets the win here tonight. And 9 seconds is the separation, not from first to second. We haven't seen this all season long, Jared, and of a lead this big at these plate tracks. Obviously, it's the track. It's the conditions of the track. It's the setup. It's the way these cars are driving on this. Such a long green flag run like this. 8 laps to go right now. There's absolutely no chance Rod Mitten and Pileski are even going to remotely have a chance to catch these guys. Seth the Merchant, he's got to be smiling from ear to ear at this point, even knowing that his teammate right behind him, I'll pass him at the end. That just puts him back on the lead lap.
Well, I mean, again, crazier things have happened. I mean, we've got about 3 laps until it pretty much seals the deal for Seth Merchant. And if a caution comes out with 3 laps, we will have probably a really good showdown here, but they're going to have to get it within 2 laps here now as they just cross the start-finish line. So you have 2 laps to get a caution. If not, it's pretty much sealed the deal for the Seth Merchant here.
All right, let's try something. Jared's or Haggerty's
you
House
can't
of Horrors
pick-
Part 2.
You cannot pick the 42.
I'm gonna pick the
that's not fair.
42.
Well, you already had your chance, and it didn't happen. It didn't work. I mean, just accept your punishment here and move on with your curse.
Hey,
Andy's,
Corey Henry's running 5th, so he's still having a pretty nice day. He's running 5th right now with his teammate Walker. So they're not, they'll still finish in the top 5. That's not a bad day for points and stuff. So, and considering I'm ahead of you two, I'll take it.
Oh, they like to rub it in, don't they?
I think he does. I think he likes to rub it in
Just
way
like
too
Evan
much.
last week, he actually picked Wofford to win and got the win. So Evan does not have the jinx anymore. He definitely reversed the curse right there for
No,
himself.
the jinx resets pretty much every race. So,
Well, don't tell Evan that he's still riding the high that Wofford won last week.
well, you were riding the high there for a while until Paul won. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm the only one still to this day who's not gotten the jinx broken. So, and this is my thing. What in the world?
That's the way it goes. 5 laps to go for our leaders right now. Seth the Merchant getting help from his teammates. Got 11-second lead. Make that 12 seconds now as they cross the line right there. This almost reminds me a couple builds ago with the setups for these plate tracks, guys. When you basically could get hooked up on a guy's bumper, and if you weren't afraid to be latched onto that guy's bumper, lap after lap, and all the switching that everybody had to do in the corners. I mean, that's the type of race that this, familiar territory, I guess you want to say, if it turned into, is these two-car tangos. We haven't talked much about that in the last couple of builds because iRacing had been, adjusting on these setups and the way these cars draft and the draft models so that you'd end up with more of a packed style racing. But then, we got to throw the wrench in and come here to the Circa 07 track and really change things up a total, basically 180 right here as far as what we're used to seeing all season long. With these guys when you got a pack of 15 cars or so that are trying for that race win on the last lap. So it's been interesting to watch, and we're coming here 3 laps to go this time, and they're just paving the way right now. Seth the Merchant and Peterson, even though he's not on the lead lap, they've definitely been the class of the field all night.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the rest of the field, unless Peterson wrecks the Merchant right now, it's pretty much all going to be Seth to Merchant, because if a caution were to come out at this point, it would still be Seth to Merchant. Unless the 71 miraculously accidentally gets into the back of the 42, you can pretty much call that a race at this point. And even then, if he did get into the back of him, I think he'd have enough time to get back up to minimum speed.
Obstacle sticks in the air for Seth the Merchant, but yeah, I'd say that's pretty much an open and shut door. But I can't help but wonder if Peterson's still going to race his teammate, because why not?
He's got the opportunity to get himself on the lead lap. Not that he's going to gain another position right there. So Christian Peterson running 12th, 1 lap down, helping his teammate right now, the 42, to Seth the Merchant, to continue to pull away. 14 seconds. Now the lead as the field, or I should say as the front runner comes around off of turn number 4. He's going to see the white flag this time. 1 more lap around, 2.5 miles. It's been a long endurance race, 120 laps up until this point here for these guys to get it done. Seth the Merchant and with the help of Christian Peterson have definitely been the class of the field, showing their way around this place. And of course, man, it's just a great show they put on, and like I said, it's just taken us back to the old days of the plate racing with the Tango in the draft. But these guys are doing a great job right now, and race control saying they're gonna look at the finish of this race, which is I find quite fun, because we crossed the start finish line, checker flag, is in the air. Seth the Merchant going to get his first win in the season here, make and definitely lock himself into the chase.
He actually let the 71 get back on the lead lap there. So 71's going to come around and get his lap back, and that was a good win for Seth the Merchant. I got to give it to the guys. I mean, even though in my opinion, that was a little bit not the best finish that I would like to see, but I got to really give it up to those guys. I mean, they did a great job, and they made it last the entire race. Cisco, what do you think?
I think it was a great strategy call by those Wicked Autosports guys, and they, like Andy said, they were the class of the field tonight. They knew what they were doing, they stayed together, and at the end they were still there together. So, great run for those guys. You know, a little bit of bad luck for the 71, or they would have finished 1-2, I'm pretty sure. But Seth the Merchant gonna burn it down here in the grass, right in here in the infield. Andy?
And rightfully so, he gets his first win of the season, locks himself into the chase for this year's iSuper Speedway Chase. Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk to our top 3 drivers, including our winner, Seth the Merchant. We'll do all that when we come back right here on LSRTV.
But here comes Gregor Hutu into Canada corner for the final time. Just 2 corners left to go before he finally makes himself a triumphant return back to victory lane. He has led 38 laps of this event here today, and Gregor Hutu once again is a winner. Gregor Hutu will work himself through the Cobra Parabolica. He will claim his 46th victory in iRacing.com World Championship competition. Gregor Hutu, for the 2nd race in a row, reigns supreme.
The one thing that I think is the most important is we've been racing this Ground Championship Series for quite some time now, a very long time even at that, and he is the only driver to have ever won a professional road race at Watkins Glen.
But there is nothing that could crack that finish #1 Team Redline driver. Gregor Hutu worked himself out the final corner, and just as he did in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, in 2015, Hutu once again wins at Watkins Glen.
Hutu will come across the line and takes the win for round 7 here at Virginia International Raceway.
Here he comes now, just 3 corners left to go, into Brooklands for the final time, into Luffield for the final time. Never ever say that Gregor Hutu is beaten, because he just comes back bigger, he comes back stronger. He wins round #9 of the World Championship Series, 49th win of his career. If you're the world's greatest sim racing driver, you can do it with your statements on the road courses. Do it when it matters. Out of the final corner for the final time, number 50 for Gregor Hutu, out of the final corner. At the top of the broadcast, we said if Hutu could win here today, he could well cement himself as the championship favourite. Gregor Hutu, the #1 machine, back to victory lane, win number 51. Hutu is inching closer rapidly to his 5th, and yes, I say that correctly, his 5th World Championship. Out of the bus stop chicane comes the #1 Team Redline driver. Gregor Hutu will win here at Circa Spa-Francorchamps. Yes, you may be behind a computer with a steering wheel and a set of pedals, but for these drivers, this is as close as they may ever get to racing in real life. It will be Gregor Hutu coming past the line. He is a 5-time world champion. Gregor Hutu wins the championship one more time. He is the greatest driver in the history.
Welcome back here to Daytona International Speedway. We just completed 120 laps here at the Circa 07 track. The Throwback 300 is officially in the books. Race number 11 of 18. 4 more to go. 2 at Talladega over the next 2 weeks. 2 more at Daytona to finish it up. But first, we have some interviews to do, and I think that Jared has caught up with James Pileski, our third place finisher down on pit road.
Yeah, and I've caught up with the number 93 of James Pileski. And James, that was a hell of a run, man. Tell us about it and what how'd you get up to the front and able to keep the car clean?
Well, I mean, I was trying to keep clean the whole race. That was my goal. Me and the 48 got together on lap 36. I'm not really sure exactly what happened there, but I got some left rear damage then. I had 25 seconds. I fixed it, but it just wasn't fast enough to do anything after that. I could hang with them, but I couldn't do anything. So it was just pretty much trying to manage the race and not screw it up. And then I slid through my pit stall on that last pit stop. So yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah, we noticed the guys going down there to the bottom were not really getting a run there. Was that the case all race, or were you able to get a better run on new tires, or what was the deal with that? Because it seemed like a lot of the guys just wanted to go on the outside, and it seemed like that was the preferred line tonight.
I don't know. I mean, the bottom I think was working for me for a good part of the race. I made some passes down there. It kind of seemed like if you went in high and then you kind of arced it down low, you get a good run off the corner. Like if I didn't have all that damage, I think that would have been the thing to do. But it was keeping me up with them guys by kind of just arcing it a little bit. They just wanted to run the top. I don't know why they wanted to. I thought the bottom was better personally.
Well, we've noticed that the team aspect was really a big factor here today. How important was it to at least have somebody on the radio that you could work with throughout the entire race?
Well, since they all got wrecked, I was pretty much by myself this whole race. I got lucky with Rod there at the end. He decided to work with me, but yeah, I didn't have any teammates. They all wrecked in those first 2 wrecks.
Well, you were making it look easy despite all your teammates wrecking out. James, before we let you go there, could we get sponsors and shout outs? Who makes it happen for you?
Oh, I got to thank Playtime Doggy Daycare and Tim's Corners and 3 for Dale. Got to help with Chaburko and all them guys. Glad to have Chaburko back. That's pretty much it.
All right. Well, we thank you for taking the time to come down here and chat with us, and good luck in the next race at Talladega.
Thanks, bud. Have a good one.
That's the number 93 of James Pileski, and I believe Cisco is caught up with our second place finisher down there on pit road.
Actually, we're out here on the apron right now. But I've caught up with the second place finisher down here, Rod Mitten, I should say. Whoops, wrong Rod. But Rod, you came into the night, and you're one of the few cars out there that looks exactly like how you loaded off the trailer, kept it clean all night. Talk about your race.
Yeah, surprised it's clean at the end there. I think we might have had a couple scratches on the right rear. But yeah, coming into an endurance race, they got rid of the reset this week, so we knew we had to keep it clean. We kind of rode around the back a little bit. I tried to stay out of the trouble, a lot of trouble in front of me, and just kind of kept my nose clean all night. Then we got to the end there. We had 4 cars kind of running good. It looked like it was gonna be a 4-car race for the lead. I was pushing Pileski, and you had 71, 42 up top. It was pretty fun racing. He had a little bit of damage, so we couldn't quite get around him. And the last pit stop, I guess, 42, his teammate he was running with had an issue, and he got a lap down, so he just kind of decided to put his teammate in the chase. So we didn't really have a shot at the win, but we had a fun race for second, and overall good points tonight.
Yeah, great points night for you, especially, the points leader having a little bit of trouble. You'll be able to make up some points, but coming through turn 4, you were able to put the move on the 93 and grab that second spot. Not the pass for the win you wanted, but that still looked like a pretty good move you pulled out of 4.
Honestly, I didn't know if it was a pass for the lead or not because there was some race chatter. They're going to look into what happened, why the leader was 15 seconds ahead of us. So I mean, I honestly didn't know what was going to be called there. Obviously, Seth's going to get the win, but I had no idea what the call was going to be. So I was racing there like it was for the win.
All right, well, you still came home second. Great run for you. The guys at the garage will be happy. Not a scratch that I can see on that car. Who you want to thank for that finishing position?
Just thank LSRTV having us, iRacing putting us on their site, Rod Flag putting this whole league together, making some good calls this week as far as rule changes. I think it helped the racing a lot, and I think it's going to get every week going to get a little better.
All right, well, that's Rod Minton. He finished the second tonight. I'm going to get a ride off the apron down to pit road, but I believe Andy Kessler has caught up with our big winner down in Gatorade Victory Lane.
That's right. He's been waiting all season long to get the win, and he finally got it done. Seth the Merchant, you come home victorious. Finally, you punched your ticket into the chase. Finally, you had a lot of help from your teammate all race long. You guys started way in the back, 24th and 23rd position. Was that the strategy from the get-go? Just hang together and try to get yourselves up to the front and in position to get this win?
Yeah, our original strategy was we were just going to ride in the back and just hang on to the lead pack draft, but far enough back to where if they did wreck, and from then on, we just decided we're just going to race. And ever since then, we just stayed in the lead the whole time, and it just all worked out. But we had enough time to slow down. And I think around lap 30 or so, there was...
Now, obviously, I hope you were watching that, you were in it, so you knew that in the first race here tonight in the IROC race, that top side was obviously the place to be. You in the second position, you pushed Rod Wofford up to the win on that race. You knew the high line was most likely the place to be. You guys look good up there. You stayed up there. You had a couple guys taking a challenge, especially the Pileski and Mitten. Those guys tried to make the bottom work, but it just wasn't happening there. And probably part to do with the way the setup was under this thing and those bumps down in the corner. Talk about that tonight. I mean, being on that top side, it's definitely different than what we see week in and week out at these other tracks.
Yeah, this track has always... seems like it's always been top lane if you can get a line of cars. I think when it's 2v, like when it was with me and CP versus I forgot who it was, but we were running side by side and they couldn't pass us on the bottom. I feel like the bottom was a little bit better, but the bottom is just so much bumpy, so much more bumpy when you're in a big pack and going so much faster. So that
we had a huge long green flag run to end this thing. It kind of shaped out. It was obviously the 93 and 92 had some
top just gets a run off the turn, so you can't really pass at all if you get a line of cars on the top.
It also did there at the end on that last stop, coming in too fast and having to sit there quite a long time. It worked out though when he came out on track. He was able to find you on the back straightaway, able to push you all the way around for those final laps to get you the win. It almost had the... I talked about it during the broadcast about 2 or 3 builds ago when the 2-car tango was really in effect at these plate tracks. It almost seemed that here tonight that once the field got spread out, you were really on your own and there was no chance for anybody. It didn't matter how well they were pushing each other on the straightaways to even make any type of ground up there. Did it have that feel from maybe about a year ago or so when the way iRacing had those builds?
A little bit. You had to play strategy. I mean, we gained all our time on pit stops, but we couldn't. I mean, yeah, it's kind of tandem-y, but you have to lift. The car in front has to lift, and the car in the back has to offset in the turn so that you can get a run, push them down the straightaways. But there's just a buffer behind the car that's leading now. That's so big that you can't really push down the straightaway unless the car in front is lifting.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mix of two. Then you throw in the old track with all the bumps. You end up getting the win. You get into the chase now. You got to be pretty excited about that moving forward. And in doing that, I'd like to give you the chance to any sponsors or shout outs you want to give here tonight for this big win.
I just got to thank Christian for working with me all race. I wasn't locked into the championship yet. I was so far out that I didn't think I could make it on points, and he just stuck with me all race, and we got. I'm locked in now. He's locked in. I got to thank Preston Pardis for crew chiefing our pit calls, and I got to thank him for spotting. I got to thank P Money Designs for designing my paint scheme, Christian's paint scheme. And I got to thank you guys for broadcasting and Rod for putting on the league.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations. We'll be seeing you in the chase with an opportunity. With some help with your teammate now, the two of you can go battle it out amongst yourselves there and see who can come out as the champion. Well, congratulations again on this big win here tonight, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, man.
Well, there you have it. Seth the Merchant coming out with the big win here tonight at Daytona, Circa 2007. Guys, let's run them down the field here real quick. Finishing order for everybody. Seth the Merchant, obviously, with the win. Rod Mitten coming home second. Third went to James Pileski. Derek Walker finished fourth. Fifth went to Corey Henry. Sixth to Matt Quick. Ray Rittenauer, quiet night, but he solidly comes home seventh. Eighth for Josh Hanner. Glenn Hedrick had a great run tonight, running up front all night. One mistake, but at least he finishes in the top 10 and ninth. And rounding out the top 10 was the one of Chris Passini.
Tommy Hall's going to bring it home 11th in the 4-car. Christian Peterson obviously had the mix-up on pit road, but did get his lap back right at the end. He's going to finish 12th. Tanner Mann going to come home 13th. Dana Osborne 14th. Donnie Gaetano, he's going to be 15th. Kent Connolly had a great run all the way from 31st to 16th. Going to finish there in 16th. Mitchell Reeves, 17th. Dan Harrington, 18th. Ron Flagg, 19th. And Rodney Wofford going to round out your top 20.
Coming home 21st tonight was Sean Turner. Frank Busilia finishes 22nd. 23rd went to Ramon Evans. Larry Camp finishes 24th. 25th went to the 77 of Justin Anderson. 26th was Josh Ball. 27th went to the 85 of Paul Servant. Stephanie Lessentine finishes 28th. 29th was Daniel Ferguson. And Brandon Chaburko rounds out 30th.
Jay Riot, Jason Altman, he's going to finish 31st. Logan Clampett going to finish 32nd. Greg Hooks and William Roberts, I believe, will finish 34th, 3rd, and 34th. So that's going to round it out here. And that's going to do it, Andy, for our 9 nights in a row kind of streak we've been going on here on LSRTV.
Yeah, it's been a really, really crazy week that's been going on. I think we got a lot of tired broadcasters. I know we have one tired producer there, Laura. She's looking forward to a couple days off here before we kick it off all again in another week on a Monday night as the chase continues over at RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. Make sure you tune in Monday night at 9 o'clock for that one. And we continue on again with the Pro Series round number 2 on Tuesday night from Phoenix International Raceway. Well, guys, we leave here. We got 4 more races till the chase starts. We got a lot of guys that are trying to get that win to get themselves locked into the championship. You got a couple guys trying to hang on to a points opportunity to get in the championship. But when you get guys that haven't won yet win, like we did tonight with Seth the Merchant, that just takes another spot away. Final thoughts before we leave here tonight, Cisco. We've had a great night. Kind of a throwback night, and hence the Throwback 300 we had here tonight. But when we come to this track, it always brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah, it does. And, next week we're going to be heading on, I believe, to Talladega. So we'll be heading back to, the usual deal here on LSR TV Friday nights, heading back to a usual track. And it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out of... Who's going to go into Talladega? This is an unconventional plate track. So who's going to head back to Talladega and go right back to the top of what they're used to? But, Jared, should be interesting here in about a week.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to go back to Talladega. I think it'll bring that a little bit of aggression back, but also it'll bring a lot of pace or, God, I just lost my train of thought there. But it'll bring back a lot of pack racing, back to the series, and I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, that's what the series is known for. We're known for the pack racing. We're known for that, being able to race side by side with each other closer than any other series on iRacing today, in my opinion, and got the best drivers in the world for super speedways, and there's no reason that we can't have at least 20, 30 cars finish on the lead lap. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to a track that they're going to be able to handle a little bit better. Andy, any final thoughts for Daytona 07 and moving forward?
Yeah, I just think that we're just getting warmed up here. The chase is looming ahead for these guys. Obviously, trying to get that win to get in, trying to solidify their position at the top of the thing, like Wofford is trying to do with his 3 wins. Had a rough night tonight, which was pretty uncommon for him so far this season. A lot of guys trying to, with that last ditch effort, just trying to get some momentum on their side, get some of that bad luck out of the way before we head into the chase. So looking forward to it. The upcoming weeks are definitely going to be fun to watch. I hope everybody tunes in, especially everybody over there on iRacing Live page. It's been a wonderful thing that iRacing has been able to put these races on every Friday night for the doubleheader, and it's been a great exposure. And these top guys at the super speedways are able to showcase their talents for everyone. So it's been fun, and then it's only yet to begun for all the drama of the championship run. So we're looking forward to that in the weeks to come. But for now, for Laura Lawson down there in the production van, pushing all the buttons, for Cisco Scaramuza, for Jared Haggerty, I'm Andy Kessler. Thanks for tuning in here tonight on LSRTV, and we'll hope to see you again next week for all the excitement that happens starting Monday.